1140. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes, Stiles and Watkins. On a Tuesday. Kings going up on a Tuesday. Putbacks going up on a Tuesday. Well, that was Monday night as your Sacramento Kings, for the first time in 6 years, get a win in Miami. No Miami bug. No Miami flu. They get it done out there in Florida. 111-110. They take care of business. Before we even get started, Chris, on a day like today, and we know there's a lot going on, get out there and vote during one of the breaks, of course, but get out there and vote while you can, because we have, and while you're driving to wherever you're voting, you can keep us rocking all day long. When you get back, you can hop back on YouTube. We got you on the Sack Chat. We got you on the AM. We got you on the Sacktown Sports app. We got you on the TuneIn app. So many ways to listen to the next 4 hours, and this is not a show where you want to miss it. I'm just going to start here. Nate, behind the glass for us, as always, doing a great job, or about to do a great job. Plenty of sound from last night. But, Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you before we really get down and dirty here. How you doing? How you feeling?
Good, doing well, after a game like last night, how do you not come in incredibly excited to talk all Kings basketball? Because that's, I mean, if you don't get excited after a night like last night, I don't know what's going to get you excited for this Kings season. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, and got tons of thoughts and ready for whatever today has in store. We know it's going to be a lot.
Well, let's start here, okay, with the reason everybody's in a good mood and not a sad mood here on a Tuesday, Super Tuesday, as Domantas Sabonis, as he always does, puts the team on his back. De'Aaron with the attempted game winner. It rims out, back rims, and Domantas says, I don't care about you, Bam Adebayo. I don't care about you, Tyler Hero. I don't care about anybody else trying to be in the mix. Nikola Jovic, whoever it is, get out of my way. Give me this ball. Give me this board. Let's go home with a W and a good taste in our mouth. This is how it sounds.
Here's De'Aaron working against Larson. Spins, pulls for the win. Comes off. Sabonis for the win. It's in with .7. Timeout Miami. Domas with the putback. And Sacramento taking a 1-point advantage.
The Cardiac Kings. Just when you thought the same old Kings, just when you thought, oh, here they go again. One bad loss, here's another. We're going into halftime. We're down. It's not looking good. The Kings say, we're not doing what we did before. We ain't going back. Okay, we're going to talk about what we need to talk about. Things might get heated. Things might get uncomfortable. But a lot of times growth comes from being uncomfortable. We have all that sound to we don't have the sound. I wish we had the sound from what happened in the locker room. We have the reactions to what happened during that halftime. If you haven't heard what happened, apparently they went into the locker room at halftime down significantly, and Domantas Sabonis during the postgame mentioned that there was a conversation and it got heated in that locker room. That's all we really know, but we have sound from Domas breaking that down and Mike Brown's thoughts on it. But this is how you get it done, Chris. Domantas Sabonis. Look, high minutes again. Like we said, it's not going to be all rainbows and unicorns. We will talk about the bad as well as the good, but there's a lot more good coming off of this road trip. Now you got to take care of business tomorrow. Domantas Sabonis, 38 minutes, 16 points, and a game winner. DeMar DeRozan, 36 minutes, 26 points, and a ridiculous 4-point play. Don't worry, we got that sound for you as well. Keegan Murray, 39 minutes, 14 points. De'Aaron Fox, 28 points, 3 for 6. Okay, he lowered the volume of three-pointers, but he upped the efficiency. That's what we like to see from one De'Aaron Fox. By the way, 16 rebounds for Domantas Sabonis. That's just light work as usual. Keon Ellis gets the start, so Mike Brown must be a friend of the show. Maybe he was listening yesterday. Who knows? 29 minutes, 1 for 3 from three-point range, 3 for 6 from the field, 7 points. He was a plus 22. Keon Ellis, 7 points, still managed to be a plus 22. Trey Lyles, 5 points, 16 minutes off the bench. Alex Len, 10 minutes. Didn't really do much else there. Had a steal, had a block, had an assist. And Jordan McLaughlin gets in the mix. He scores his first bucket as a Sacramento King. 3 points there. Malik Monk, 24 minutes. He was in a bit of foul trouble, Chris, so it was kind of hard for Malik to get going. 6 for 11, 0 for 3 from three-point range, 12 minutes. Your initial thoughts watching this whole thing unfold?
I am so glad we have DeMar DeRozan. That's really the only thought to have is oh my goodness, there's a 0% chance we win that game last year if we don't have a guy like DeMar, and that's exactly why he is on this team right now, is to get wins like that. I mean, the Kings, they really let Miami run away with it to end the first half. They were hitting threes like crazy in the Kings defense. Like Tyler Hero could not miss. What's dude's name that I was telling you? I never had heard of. Pell Larson. I don't know what his name is. I want to call him Pele the way he was playing yesterday.
Yeah.
It felt like he couldn't miss in the first half. So it just kind of felt like one of those days where we've talked about it so many times. Oh, this team can't really shoot threes. And then they play the Sacramento Kings and all of a sudden they become the 2023 Boston Celtics. And it's out of control. It's an epidemic, but thankfully the Kings were able to kind of outlast it in the third quarter, which we'll get to some of the third quarter numbers on the season a little bit later. But that third quarter, they just came out focused. They came out hitting shots, which is absolutely massive. And then in the fourth quarter down the stretch, like you said, DeMar DeRozan hits that 4-point play out of nowhere. And that's where it felt like this Kings team really got life. Then he comes down. He has the turnover. It's like, oh, man, there goes all the positive momentum. Then DeRozan pump fakes a three, finds Sabonis in the lane for an easy layup, and then it really feels like the comeback is on. And just an incredibly exciting game. That's exactly why you love the sport of basketball, is the high flying nature of it, the back and forth of it, and the fact that it doesn't really feel like that game was decided until the very last whistle, and then you get an amazing play at the end of the game. Just an incredible night, really, and one that it feels like that's going to be one that we remember all season long as really the day where it felt like. And Frankie texted both of you and I in our group message right after the game. You had De'Aaron have a crazy third quarter. You had Sabonis get the ultimate putback, offensive rebound and putback for game. And then you obviously had DeMar down the stretch. That was the game where you had all three of the Kings' biggest pieces really contributing to a win. And really they couldn't have gotten it done unless every single one of those three did their part.
As you look here at the team stats, Chris, as you mentioned, 37% from three for the Kings. They were 10 of 27. 51%, 51.2% from the field. Free throws, Chris, 13 for 15, 86.7%. Domantas Sabonis, 2 for 2. DeMar DeRozan, 5 for 5. Keegan Murray, we talked about him last season, 3 for 3. De'Aaron Fox, 3 for 4. Keon Ellis, 0 for 1, good for 13 for 15. I'm not going to say the free throw issue is gone, Chris, but I'm not feeling like we're talking about it too much right now.
I'm going to tell you later. Again, yeah, we got some notes for it later, but I think it's gone. I think it's pretty much gone. When you look at the Kings' best free throw or their percentages just in general as individuals, it's not just DeMar lifting up everybody. It's really the Kings have 4 guys shooting over 80% from the free throw line, and it's their 4 main contributors. It's De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis, all clear of 80% from the free throw line, and that just wasn't the case last year. I mean, Keegan was barely getting to the line. Malik had a really down year from the free throw line as well, and we know that De'Aaron and Domas were both in the 70s, and then now to have them all in the 80s, and you have DeMar DeRozan taking about 7, I think he's taking around 7 free throws per game, shooting at 86%. Like that to me says that the free throw problem is not coming back.
As we go over what the Heat did, as you mentioned, Chris, Nikola Jovic, 4 points in 12 minutes. Jimmy Butler, 36 minutes. Jimmy really did take over for a little bit towards the end of the game. 8 of 11 from free throw, 1 of 2 from 3, 9 of 19 from the field, plus 11. He had 27 points. It was pretty vintage Jimmy Butler, I would say. As the game got tight, it was definitely Jimmy time. Bam Adebayo. I don't want to have and I'm not trying to go crazy here, but the Bam Adebayo conversation versus Domas, he's just not particularly my cup of tea. I'm just not really sure what it is that we're supposed to do with Bam Adebayo. 36 minutes, 7 for 15, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 4
That's
blocks.
what you do with Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm focusing too much on the offensive side of things. Tyler Hero, 34 minutes. He had it going. I don't know if Jack Harlow was in the stands or what was going on, but Tyler Hero, and his buzz,
allegations.
and his buzz cut. They were working, man, working early. 5 for 11 from 3-point range, 9 for 18, 27 points. Scary Terry. I mean, Halloween is over, so he wasn't too scary. 30 minutes, 10 points, 3 for 6. He really just didn't have much of an impact. Period. 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So he was out there. Duncan Robinson, who can go from being the team's highest usage player to just invisible. He was more so on the invisible side last night. He was 3 for 3 from 3-pointer.
Yeah, he had some moments.
Yeah, he had some moments. 9 points, 14 minutes. Haywood Highsmith, best name in the league, 8 minutes. Bryant, 12 minutes. And the rest of the guys, this is just Eric Spoelstra just saying, I'm just going to play dudes and see who pops because I'm Eric Spoelstra. Then your boy Larson, 13 points, 25 minutes, 3 for 5, 3-point range. And Alec Burks, the walking bucket, only got 2 points. Let's discuss how the Kings got this done. On the other side, we have DeMar DeRozan's 4-point play and something really eerie. I know that Halloween's over, but something really eerie happened back in 2023 when DeMar DeRozan did a very similar thing against the Kings. We got that sound for you and much, much more. We got voting going on right now. We have the NFL trade deadline. This is quite the Tuesday. And you know I don't even like Tuesdays, but this one, I'll make an exception. Let's get it going. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined, as always, by my co-anchor, Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, with T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
24 monthly bill credits and eligible trade income. Go 5G next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Rozier wide open for 3. Score the basket. That's huge. That could be a dagger. Keep that one in mind. 1:14 to go. Terry Rozier from the corner makes it 108-103. Here's DeRozan straight away. He'll try for 3. He hits the line drive triple, and he was fouled. DeMar DeRozan coming on down the stretch here at clutch time, delivering once again, just like he did Saturday night in Toronto.
Trey Lyles movement.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, just getting started here for the Sacramento Kings. And like we said, the NFL trade deadline is at 1 p.m., so we will have a lot to report on that. The Saints, by the way, are trading Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders. That is per Adam Schefter. Washington adding firepower to help Jaden Daniels make a serious run. And we're going to have that conversation at some point. What rookie quarterback has won the Super Bowl? I don't think we're there yet, but if the Commanders keep rolling, now that Dak Prescott, I believe Jerry on his favorite station said Dak might go on the IR, so Cooper Rush might be able to keep it afloat, but they weren't keeping it afloat means that they were in a good position. They're not even in a good position. So the Commanders could be making some moves. We will keep an eye, and we will go over all things trade deadline once it is over, and we'll talk about that in the 1 o'clock hour. But now the Kings train rolls on as DeMar DeRozan has really cemented himself already as a dude that you can go to when you need something extraordinary to happen. And he's really just nailed everything, Chris. Miami was up by 5 with 1 minute and 11 seconds left when DeMar DeRozan got a 4-point play that started a game-ending 8-2 run by the Kings. The Heat led by 15 early in the third, but they were outscored 37-17 in that quarter. They've been outscored 137-71 in 4 third quarters at home this season. They've been outscored. That's because nobody's in the stands. They've been outscored by 20 or more points in third quarters 8 times in 1,119 games at their current home arena twice this season. That is from the Associated Press. And we're going to talk about the talk here in about 10 minutes as we discuss what happened at halftime. But really, Chris, were you watching, and I'm not saying, I'm always on your mind, but not just me specifically, but were you watching thinking, if the Kings lose this, tomorrow's show could get dicey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially from, not necessarily even thinking about you. I'm thinking about everybody. I mean, you would not be alone in people freaking out for sure. I think 100% that was going through my mind is if the Kings lose this game, I think that it's going to be really hard to talk people out of this team being the same as last year or just continuing to look like it's going to be a disappointment. And I think that's the part that honestly I was most excited that they get the tip and win the game, because it's funny how a result changes people's thoughts. Like if Domantas Sabonis let's just say that Domas doesn't get that rebound and the Heat get it and the game's over, I think people are just completely upset today, and they're saying, you couldn't get it done in Toronto, you tricked that game off, and then that loses an opportunity to have some cushion against Miami, and now you're in this position, and it's all downhill from here. And it's crazy how just one putback for 2 extra points completely changes it. And I think people feel like, okay, it's a 3-1 road trip. Yeah, it wasn't exactly how you thought it was going to be, but now you have an opportunity against the Raptors on Friday, and then on Wednesday, and then you have the Clippers who lost yesterday to the Spurs. They're coming to town on Friday, and so that's an opportunity to potentially get a win. I think it's just crazy how much things flip with just something as simple as 2 extra points from the Kings there, but definitely went through my head. I was not looking forward to people really being ready to just completely freak out today.
Yeah, and I think the main thing as it pertains to the Kings is how were they going to respond? We understood and we understand that they're going to be some tough road trips, and we're not saying that that's not a big deal, but at the end of the day, you still have to find a way to get it done, because every team is dealing with other stuff. Teams are going to lose games they're not supposed to, right? The Raptors should not have beat the Kings, but they did. Now, how do you respond to this? And we saw how they responded. This is just a funny note, Chris. I ran into this while trying to find the DeMar DeRozan 4-point play from last night, and I ran into this audio from March 15th, 2023. You may or may not yourself even remember this. Here it is.
Vucevic. Precious time taken away. DeRozan takes the three.
Wow. And that's the second time, Barnes. That's the second time it could be a possible 4-point.
So that was a 4-point play with 11 seconds left in Chicago, and it was Harrison Barnes fouling DeMar DeRozan. What
How
a
poetic.
just a funny turn of events, if you will. And now we are benefiting from DeMar. It was Chris. I mean, it's the exact same play.
It's crazy, and I told you the other day, like the game winner that he tried to take, or the almost game winner that he tried to take, or game tire that he tried to take in Toronto, he's taking that shot too, and that's the glory of having a dude who has been there, done that in the NBA, and has been around the league for so long, is that he's taken every shot. Like the dude knows how to get to his spot, and that's the most clear and obvious thing from watching DeMar DeRozan for even a second, is that you see that this guy has put in his 10,000 hours. He's put in his shots, and it's just easy. It all looks like drill work to him, like he's done it all before, and that he's so calm, cool, and collected. I mean, especially down the stretch there, I really think that is just being a veteran in this league and understanding that this game can turn on its head at any moment. One shot and the momentum completely flips, and that's exactly what DeMar did, man. Yeah, he hit that 4-point play, and it completely flipped that game on its head. The game was over leading into that shot. DeMar hits it, and all of a sudden, before you could even lose faith, you completely had it back that the Kings could make a comeback if they just got a couple stops, and Lord, it happened. They actually got some stops, and then, of course, Domas hits the really clutch putback layup there, and the rest is history. But that's why you have DeMar DeRozan, is to have somebody besides De'Aaron Fox who will not only take that shot, but will also make it. To me, that's the clear thing about that 4-point play, is just, I don't know who would have had the stones to take that shot in that moment. We talked about it a lot yesterday with De'Aaron taking that final shot. I think a lot of guys probably feel that way on the team, that, oh, I don't know if I should be taking this shot. This is probably, we're down 5. There's a minute to go. I don't want all the pressure on my back. This is what De'Aaron's here for. I'm going to let De'Aaron take it. DeMar didn't even consider that for a second, walked right into the 3, got the foul, got the and one. I think that's exactly why DeMar DeRozan is in Sacramento.
Yeah, and, we have a breakdown on how the big 3, it was really a collective effort. And look, like we said, it's not going to be all Skittles and popsicles, because the usage is still a question, and we'll get to all that. But the Sabonis tip, to me, Chris, if you rewatch it and people are saying, hey, have you seen people trying to bring up that maybe there was a push off or whatever? I don't want to hear any of that. Sabonis, I mean, he had to leave the game for some point quickly. He get hit in the mouth and the eye. I don't want to hear about that end of game specifically. Don't put yourself in that situation if you're the Miami Heat. You blew a lead. The Kings have been on the other side of it, so I'm not even entertaining that. But that putback, that wasn't a bunny. If you actually watch the putback, it was not a bunny at all. I mean, for people to say that Domantas Sabonis lacks skill, I mean, the whole skill thing to me is overrated. When, Kyrie's the most skilled player of all time. I hate stuff like that. They're the most skilled backcourt. I hate stuff like that. But to say that Domantas Sabonis isn't skilled when he does things like that, it just shows that some people are just too obsessed with the bag and doing things like that, when at the end of the day, there is a will, and Domantas Sabonis has that will. We will talk about that talk that happened in the locker room during halftime and really sparked the comeback for the Kings against the Miami Heat to get their first win in Miami in 6 years when we return. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
The shot clock is ticking, and your home team is driving up the court. But don't miss your chance to score big at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Save on a new Accord, HR-V, Ridgeline, or the all-new Prologue before the buzzer sounds on year-end deals. Don't get benched by high prices. Slam dunk your savings today.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Carmichael Dave with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Black Friday is on its way at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Low price Makita Bear tools starting at $89. Makita batteries starting at just $49, and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 25th through December 2nd. That's right, one whole week of crazy deals on power tools. So don't forget, our Black Friday sale will be November 25th through December 2nd. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at fastenersinc.net.
To Fox with a shot clock at 5. Number 5 at the left elbow with a 16-footer off the heel of the rim. Ball comes back to the air and gives to Sabonis. He'll try for 3, and he scores the three-pointer. Domantas Sabonis knocking down the triple on the season now. Sabonis is 7 for 13 from downtown.
Halfway through the first hour here on Election Day. I'm trying to find some fun election props at the end of the show. I don't even know what they would look like, but I'm half scared, half very intrigued and excited. So that's going to be.
Maybe we can find for prop talk. I don't know if any like gambling bills are on the
I don't think
ballot
so.
for some states.
I just know that one got smacked.
Not a
in
chance. Like we should
California.
pretty much give up.
Yeah, don't ever
don't hold your breath.
Yeah, don't ever come here with that stupid
Keep
stuff
that Reno
again.
timeshare or whatever.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, we'll have some fun with that in the 1 o'clock hour. But we're having some fun right now about the Kings, and the reason we're having fun is because the Kings got it done. But they got it done because they had a talk. They had a conversation.
Okay.
It got a little bit heated in the locker room. Now, Chris, before we play this audio, I was trying to recall last season.
Okay.
Do you remember the players only meeting where it was it we talked about it a lot. It was, I believe, Trey Lyles going to De'Aaron and essentially saying, hey, can we have this meeting? And then we found out that Keegan Murray had a lot to say in the meeting. Is that correct?
That is correct. To my knowledge, I don't remember exactly what sparked the meeting or when exactly in the season it was, but the details that you just laid out are how I remember.
Am I confused, or was JaVale McGee a part of it in some way too? Because JaVale had those off-season comments.
Yeah, I think he only had the comments.
Yeah,
I don't think during that time JaVale was a part of those conversations. Gotcha. I do recall it didn't happen this early in the season. I do know that.
No, definitely.
I do know that. So I feel a bit vindicated, and I think some people that have kind of freaked out early on feel a bit vindicated because clearly there was some type of urgency going on with the Kings. But let's hear from Domantas Sabonis. This is what sparked everything. Domantas Sabonis doing the post game with Mark Jones and Katie Christensen, and Katie asked a question, and Domantas Sabonis kind of just volunteers this information. Here it is.
Domas, I got to ask you about kind of the course of this game. Final game of a 4-game road trip. It's always difficult. Miami has historically been a difficult place for this team to also have success at. But you guys kind of weathered the storm. The first half, things were not going in your favor. What was the difference coming out at halftime in the third quarter, going into the fourth, that really changed the momentum with that massive third quarter production?
We knew we could play better. Things got heated there in the locker room. We're a better team than we're showing, and we came out that third quarter and made a big run. Okay, you said things got heated in the locker room. Whose voice was the loudest in there?
No, just during the game, first quarter, second quarter, emotions are high. Last trip of last game of a road trip, everyone just wants to get home and get this win.
I mean, Mark Jones tried it.
He tried it.
He tried it,
man.
I appreciate him for trying, but there was no way we were going to get too much more from that. But I don't even think,
it'll come out at some point.
Yeah, Domas is pretty darn open. I don't really think he probably regrets bringing it up. I mean, there
might have been.
Hey, what was the reason that how did you guys turn it around? By the way, Chris, at halftime it was 61-48.
Yes.
So not a shellacking, but
they had just extended the lead pretty severely.
Yeah,
right before the second half.
Exactly. It was pretty close, and then all right, is this thing going to get away from us?
Yeah, it was 45-46, and then the half ends 48-61.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah, so
that's what sparks the anger.
Straight from the run, and then they have a conversation. It gets heated, and then they turn things around. Coming out of the locker room, as I had mentioned, they were outscored. The Heat were outscored 37-17 in that third quarter. Let's hear from Mike Brown. So then Katie asked Mike Brown about the conversation. We assume Mike Brown was in there, but you know how Mike Brown is. He kind of just lets the team do their thing. I would imagine he really didn't have to say much. And here it is.
Mike, Domas mentioned in his post-game press interview on the TV side that we asked him about the third quarter. It was a phenomenal turnaround. Yeah. And he said things got heated in the locker room at halftime. I imagine for you kind of seeing that kind of fire from the guys after what was a disappointing first half for them. Can you talk about kind of the environment and who led the charge and kind of how that halftime kind of was really what turned the game on its head?
Yeah, again, we challenged our guys. They challenged each other. And, in instances like this, that's what great teams do. Everybody wants to hold everybody accountable. I shouldn't be the only one holding people accountable. Guys got to step up and say, hey, my bad, I got to do better. Other guys got to step up and say, hey, you got to do better. You got to do better. You got to do better. But in order to do that, you all have to be playing at a high level, not scoring the ball or anything like that, but just in terms of your effort and your focus, your attention to detail. And that's what it was. It was just everybody holding each other accountable, nobody taking anything personal, and us all knowing at the end of the day, we all had one common goal. That was to try to win the ball game, and that's what we went out and did somehow, some way.
Boom. There it is, Chris. Are you convinced that this team might be moving different this season?
It's still too early to tell, but I mean, I would definitely say so. I mean, it feels like, again, DeMar's presence has been felt so much already on the floor. And I mean, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions, but if I had to guess, I mean, DeMar does have a history of I'm not saying he brought it up, but I'm sure he had some things to say, or at least had a smile on his face as that meeting was going on, because that's, again, as I talk about the reasons why DeMar DeRozan's in Sacramento, it's to be that vocal leader as well, or at least be a vocal presence. It doesn't have to be a leadership presence, but to not be afraid to speak his mind and to have these guys understand that, like Mike's been saying for 2 years now, it's got to stop coming from me. These guys are going to get tired of hearing me say the same message over and over and over again. At some point, these guys are going to have to take some accountability. And honestly, I think it's a massive positive that it's this early in the season. It's not to a point of exhaustion. Like how annoying is it in anything in life when when something only gets done because it literally gets to the point where, okay, this is now a detriment to everybody involved, and now we're going to talk about it. They get in front of the problem. They recognize, hey, this thing is going down really quickly. We lose to Toronto in a game where really we have no business losing. You can call it a schedule loss, whatever. We had no business losing to Toronto, and then we're down 12 after being as close as 3 minutes ago in this Heat game. You can feel the momentum starting to snowball. They get in front of it. They don't wait until after the game to air out all the grievances and then say, oh, well, there's another game that we wasted where we could have had the conversation and met it at its point. I think it's a massive positive that these guys addressed it in the halftime locker room and then went out and actually changed it. Like, it's not even just the fact that they had the conversation, but you see that they come out in that third quarter and absolutely dominate Miami on the offensive end and on the defensive end, not just putting up 37 points, but holding Miami to 17. How many times 2 years ago in that Beam Team season, yeah, the offense would be crazy explosive. They would put up 40-point quarters, but they would still allow a 30-point quarter. to me, that's maybe a sign of something different from this unit than the units that we've seen in the past. Is not only can they bring the offense in spurts, they can also bring defense as well. And hopefully that's here to stay.
Yeah, I'm looking here, Chris. It looks like the Kings, they held a players only meeting and it helped them beat the Timberwolves. So it was very early March, possibly late February, because it kind of dragged on for a little bit.
Season.
Yeah, it was basically,
that's post All-Star break.
The articles that I'm seeing here, basically the Kings held a players only meeting heading into the final stretch of the season. That was to hopefully stay out of the play-in, which they weren't necessarily successful, but to have something, and this wasn't a meeting, this was more of just a let's not let this thing snowball.
Right.
I'm going to hold myself accountable, you're going to hold yourself accountable, and let's go from there. So I think it's a great look. I appreciate when people have conversations. I think, again, on Election Tuesday, I think that having these types of conversations or having conversations in general is always the right way to approach things. You don't let things bottle up, whether that's you and your significant other, you and a friend, you and a family member, or you and a teammate.
Right.
So I think the Kings, now we saw it with the Raiders. It didn't really happen like that, but that was on some weird Raider type stuff. But normally this stuff happens. There was Devontae didn't realize everybody was talking about him, so that was a little bit confusing, I'm sure. But for the Kings to come out and turn this thing around as quickly as they did, it is something that I think we're going to pay attention to. And honestly, Chris, if you look back on last season, and we talk about how last season was really just a bit weird or a bit odd in that there weren't a lot of moments. You could already say, I know we were talking about the Malik Monk dunk in Utah. That's how little moments that we had last season with the Kings. And the Kings, 7 games into the season, have already given us, you could argue, a better moment, one of the top 5 moments in the last, if we're counting now this year and last season. So Beam Team now is 2 years ago. So in this season and last season, what we watched was, I think, a top 3, maybe top 5 moment already. We're 7 games into the season. So it already feels like this team just has a little bit more oomph to them. They're not going to sit there and be pushed around. They're not just going to lay down when the going gets tough. And the going has gotten tough already. I mean, so now you look at what they were able to do to get out of that road trip, which was a tough road trip from a geographical, I believe De'Aaron said, perspective, and you get out of there with a win against the Jazz, a win against the Hawks. You do lose to the Raptors, but we expected them to go 3-1 anyway. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter how you go 3-1, as long as you do go 3-1. Wow. Now you get that revenge against the Raptors tomorrow. I think the Clippers, I don't think it's going to be easy. I know James Harden, he likes to show out and do things like that. And after that, you get the Suns, Spurs, Suns again. And then you blink, Chris, and that's what I'm talking about, man. You blink, it's NBA Cup time. You blink, and we're talking about Timberwolves against the Kings in the NBA Cup. That is November 15th. So a lot can happen between now and then, but the Kings off to a good start to kick off the season. Let's open up the phone lines. I did it again. 9-1.
You're gonna give out your phone number. I'm probably gonna give out your address, your social security.
I'm filling out stuff for the vote. The voting. 916-339-1140 is the number. Now, maybe that's why Whitey got rid of the 916.
Yeah, maybe it is, right?
So he doesn't accidentally say his phone number. How do we think the talk went? Who do we think was really the captain of that talk, if there was one? And are you feeling better about the Kings? Dwayne, we see you. We'll get to you on the other side. Please don't call my phone number. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is honored to recognize the service of our military personnel. To show our appreciation, O'Reilly Auto Parts is proud to offer a 10% discount on many items to all active duty, reserve, veterans, and their dependent family members. Exceptions apply. Get details at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacsSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Inbounds pass goes to Fox. To the top of the arc, goes left wing to Keegan. Drives the baseline right to the rim and throws down a vicious two-hand jam off the dribble. That ties the score. We're even at 7 apiece. Great aggressive take to the basket by Keegan Murray off the back.
How do we think the talk went? And are you feeling better about the Kings? 916-339-1140. 2 hours, 17 minutes, 40, now 39 seconds left. The voting, got to get on out there. I'm still getting used to the area. My wife said, hey, go drop this off at North Natomas. Turns out that North Natomas Library. Turns out that I literally pass South Natomas Library to come here. That's on me for not paying attention myself. But yeah, was a little tardy this morning because I had to double back. Then I'm literally passing South Natomas Library thinking, and the flags
How
are
was
flying.
it? Was it pretty populated there in the morning?
It was crowded.
Yeah, especially people trying to get in before workout.
Yeah,
Imagine.
I never understand this with people. And, again, this is not a political show, but
Definitely
I see people in line holding the mail-in ballots.
Okay, yeah.
So
They let me skip for mine.
I got confused. So I walk up and I'm thinking I texted you guys. I thought it was gonna be worse.
Yeah.
So I walk up.
Okay.
I see a long line. I see a couple people with the mail-in ballots in line. I'm thinking, man, this is gonna take way longer than I thought. As I'm walking, somebody stops me and says, "Hey, how you doing? If they're all sealed, you can just drop them on in."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, why are these people in line?
Cheap.
And I'm just wondering. I mean, it's the same
sometimes
thing.
it happens.
I get on this when I go to Bel Air. and I see people.
Right, just
you got 6 stuff. You have 6 things, and I'm looking. There's no alcohol.
Right.
There's no nothing else that you can't use self checkout, and you're sitting in a long bleeping line.
So dumb.
I don't understand it.
I don't know.
Is it the technology that's confusing you? I don't get it.
I think it's just the comfort of like, I don't know, like I don't want to like have somebody walk up to me and say like, what are you doing? And that's what I would get. That's always what I assume, is that it's just like a social like paranoia essentially of like, I'm just gonna be like, I say sheep because I just think it's funny, but like you just do whatever the person in front of you does because that's what's comfortable.
I didn't know what it was. 20 people deep.
I'm like you. I would be trying to get out of there. I'd be asking people like, "Hey, is this the line? Is this the right line?"
I didn't even realize they told me.
Yeah. All right.
They
there's
told
no
me.
excuse. Yeah. There's no excuse.
Can we get something on the ballot? I couldn't stand.
Hey, now don't get political now.
No, I'm just saying. I got non-alcoholic beers, and you couldn't go through self-checkout.
Hot water, it doesn't matter.
Technically, I guess it's going to be
so
0.00 whatever.
It
couldn't go through self-checkout.
Drives me crazy. It's really dumb.
Only had that.
Really, really dumb.
Only had that and some sharp cheddar cheese. I had to wait in a 30-minute line.
Are you old enough to buy that? Come on.
Probably not. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dwayne. Wants to be a part of the conversation. Dwayne, you feeling better about the Kings now?
No.
Oh man.
What's up, Dwayne?
But we got action. But here's the thing. So the other day when I called, I said draft capital like 4 times, and I guess that's why you guys are the pros, and I'm just a guy who likes to talk. But I meant trade value. I meant trade capital.
Mm-hmm.
At the trade deadline is when Monty McNair's got to make the smart power move, bro. Be a good GM, bro. Get it done because we have action. We're right there. But right now, this ain't it. We're having trouble with Eastern Conference teams. So I guess my question to you guys is this.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the season, are we looking for a fun team or are we looking for a fun watch? Because I thought we were looking for playoffs and then playoff success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to take my kids to Sacramento so we can root. Right. But right now we're having trouble with Atlanta. We're having trouble with Toronto.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I guess my last question is, do you guys think this team is going to have a better record than last year's team if we keep it like this?
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Dwayne. And I think that's a really good question. My initial thought, Chris, and then I'll throw it to you. My initial thought is yes. And I don't think it's necessarily close, but I would say my caveat to that answer is that you got to stay healthy because I don't even know. Can we talk about it? Let's twist it like this. Do you think there is more depth on the bench this season or last season? Because I don't even know.
Yeah, I think the fact that we don't know is probably an answer in itself, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not definitely better.
Right.
So I mean, you know, if
the
you're
starting lineup is better.
Starting lineup's definitely better.
So,
I can tell you that starting lineup's definitely better.
So to answer Dwayne's question, I think the answer is easily yes, they'll have a better record, but you need to stay healthy.
Need to. Yeah. I mean, you see how even just Kevin Huerter going down kind of switch things up for the Kings and makes them just one more person less. And I mean, I still think that some of it is that the bench hasn't played well. I think Jordan McLaughlin definitely had, for what it's worth, his best game as a King so far yesterday.
It was something.
That's literally like, that's kind of all it took was for it to be something. He hit a 3, got a steal, got an assist as well. Like maybe the bench playing better, or maybe it's just the fact that the bench has played like actively bad that we feel like the bench is bad, but maybe there's some progression back towards a middle ground where, maybe we don't feel that way. But I will say just in general yesterday, especially, maybe I'm just getting a little bit too entranced by the early play of the Brooklyn Nets so far, but a thought definitely crossed my mind yesterday as I was watching Jordy. And by the way, Jordy's got them boys playing. They are 4-4 this year, and I don't think anybody expected them to be that good. But I say all that to say Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith, I just wonder, like, what is like if you just give them a Godfather offer, if you will, what would it take to get both of those guys? If it doesn't take, I mean, I'm just curious if I mean, I know Dorian Finney-Smith is somebody who at times has been, hey, like multiple second rounders, maybe a late first round pick. I'm more just curious if you were to kick the tires on what those guys' value would be, what it would be, because if you could get one, or I mean, I think the definitely the pie in the sky approach is getting both. But if you can maybe get one or both of those guys and not have to give up anything significant, if it can only be picks, I think that's how this team definitely takes it to another level. If you have to give up Kevin Huerter and maybe some other picks, then maybe that's maybe where you get a little bit of hesitation, just because you have to make sure that you're definitely getting better from that deal. But long story short, I think that Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson so far this season have definitely their play so far has me wanting the Kings to definitely at least kick the tires on what their value is.
And I saw the Mavericks, they do end up losing last night. It was a really good game, but I saw the Mavericks, they have Lively and Gafford, but they're running a lineup with PJ Washington as their kind of pseudo center and Najee Marshall. Okay. So there are Najee Marshall was a guy that the Kings, I think really the Kings fans had targeted. Yeah. You don't have a ton of flexibility right now. And I think, as we just mentioned, Lattimore of the Saints going to the Commanders, because the Commanders are essentially saying, I think we're going to be all in or pretty darn all in. I think that the Kings need to look at this and say, yes, the Thunder are good, but they're not going to go away. It's one thing to try to wait out. Oh, the Warriors are going to get old. The Lakers are going to get old.
Right.
There's no
maybe
waiting.
Even the Nuggets.
Maybe even the Nuggets. But there's no waiting.
Nope.
OKC's here. The Timberwolves are here. Yeah. These teams are here, and they're improving. And winter is coming, just like we said in Game of Thrones. Wemby is still coming.
That's a great point.
Wemby is still – they are going to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so you cannot sit on your laurels, to Dwayne's point, and feel good. I think you can sit there and say, all right, we nailed our starting lineup. We think it cooks. But as we talk about, Chris, and like I said, we're not going to only do positives here.
Right.
38 minutes again, 36 minutes, 39, 37. That you can't keep doing this. Not all season long. We know De'Aaron is dealing with that finger, and he's going to battle with it all season. But these numbers are ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking here. There's some high numbers for Adebayo and Jimmy, but that they're not doing that every single night. That's why it's a pretty bad loss for the Heat, by the way. But we don't care about the Heat. Let's go to Shrestha, who wants to be a part of the conversation as well. 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Shrestha? What you got for us?
Yeah, just a different take. I know it's a small sample size, but, in the past seasons, the other teams have kind of attacked the Kings physically and rattled them. So they've been in a different headspace mentally, always trying to, think about what just happened to them. And that's affected their game in the past. But in the last few games, we've had referees kind of messing with us in this Heat game. We've had physical play. But the Kings somehow managed to keep the head straight mentally and fight. Even the De'Aaron Fox dunk, the one that was taken away because Domantas had an offensive foul. I mean, he got angry. He took it right to them. I feel like the Kings mentally have made a switch or some sort of a pickup this year. I just want to know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, thanks for the call. That is really insightful. Basically,
about that play,
they're not complaining anymore. They're just saying, you know what? It is what it is. We're not going to say that we lost. And going back to last season, and look, we did have the tip situation with De'Aaron in Toronto. That it is what it is. But there were a lot of times last season, I thought I got fouled. Stop putting yourself, just take the bull by the horns and do it yourself. And I do feel like and maybe that's the accountability thing. Hey guys, let's not blame it on, we know Malik and the refs and the coaches, that whole kind of inside joke. Enough with the jokes. Let's just get these W's and find a way to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think in general, like you said there, I mean, I think that they just have a different mentality this season as well. Like Keegan's dunking a lot more too. I think it's small things like that just kind of feel like it stacks up for this team. Not, now are they the most physical team in the world? No, definitely not. But I think small little moments like that, and then when you have Domantas Sabonis as your primary center playing 40 minutes a night, I think there's going to be a certain level of intensity that is just there. And then with how DeMar plays, with his physical nature, the amount of fouls that he draws, I don't know. Yeah, it just feels like this team isn't soft, isn't getting pushed around so far this season. Again, we'll have to see how this thing continues. We're only 7 games in, but I think the early reports are definitely really positive for this Kings team. And I think it feels different, I think is the biggest thing. Is yes, they are having success, but it just feels like the way that they're getting these wins so far has been a little bit different than how it's been in the past, and I think it's a good different this year.
Let's go to Chris, not Watkins.
Okay.
Maybe it's Verla.
Maybe.
He's still back there, though. Chris wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Chris? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey, guys. How you doing? No, I was just going to actually just touch on what Chris was just talking about and what kind of like Dwayne was pointing to and alluding to. I do agree. I think we need to make a move, probably for, some type of big man, maybe move Domantas to the 4. But feels different, right? I think when the Beam team started, right? I don't know how many times, right? Too often we would have those games where it would almost feel like the game was lost in the fourth quarter. And then miraculously, right, the last couple minutes we back, we'd make a serious push, and it seemed like the guys would start playing harder, right? Mm-hmm. And this is that type of game where I felt like it was going to go that route. We ended up taking it, right? And then, obviously a couple calls went the wrong way on that 2-minute report in Toronto, so that game could have been different as well, right? We'd be singing a different song if we would have went 4-0. Yeah, it's in my point, right? Like, not every game is going to be a blowout. You're going from Toronto to Miami. We never win in Miami. These are difficult games, but I'm not sold and convinced that we're completely different, but it does feel somewhat different. So I appreciate the time, but I think that we're on the right track. One more move, and I think we're good. So let me know what you guys think.
No, thanks for the call, Chris. Again, 7 games in, right? And the Kings, they're going to continue to build that cohesiveness together. But I think we're all on the same page here. Something needs to be done about that bench. That's just what it is. First win in Miami in 6 years. So definitely something is different and something is a brewing in Sacramento. Where have the Kings excelled so far this season? Chris Watkins breaks it all down on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, and other offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Radio's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with a free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical ball. I'll see you on the dance floor.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Off the heel of the rim, Sabonis gets the miss and gives to Fox. Pushes into the front court on the left side of the floor. Digs to the edge of the paint. Swings it out to Domas. Now to Malik Monk. Hesitates. Drives inside. Got a great screen. A screen assist from Sabonis. And Malik Monk gets the window layup. 20-18.
This person, Johnny Barks, going viral on Twitter. Chris, I'm voting Alex Smith for president because he was a great commander-in-chief.
That's
very good. It's nicely done.
Yeah,
That's
really
right there.
done.
Good job,
That's
Johnny
really
Barks.
done. I don't know if it's well or bad, but it was done.
It's done. 916 says, finally, 5 exclamation points.
Woo!
Keegan is dunking the ball and finishing tough at the rim. It brings a whole new aspect to his game. He can be a dangerous man.
Very
Halloween's
dangerous.
over.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that wasn't the right sound. It was the wrong ad lib there, but you know,
That's right,
the point still
916.
stands. Point still stands. It's spooky. It's scary season out here.
That's
Come on.
right. It is scary hours for the rest of the league.
That's right. Look out.
People don't say that anymore.
No, they don't. No. Well, I think part of that's our friend Aubrey being, I think Aubrey Graham made that a little bit popular.
Yeah.
Scary hours, but it's fine. I like Scary Hours.
I did.
I think it's a nice tune.
Yeah, we can bring it back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's going to be scary for the rest of the league if the Kings keep excelling in the ways that they have. What you got first, Chris Watkins?
First and foremost, I am not a conspiracy man, but I do want to put out there, as we've already had a couple people mention the refereeing from yesterday. This definitely circulated on socials yesterday. The lead official, John Goebel, 18-year NBA referee, born November 25th, 1978 in Miami, Florida. High school, attended Miami Senior High in Miami, Florida. And the college he went to was Florida International, a graduate in 2001. So you do with that information whatever you'd like, but I will just let you know that he was the lead official of yesterday's game in Miami. So
that's weird.
Again, draw whatever conclusions you want. We know that last year or a couple years ago, there was that weird scandal with the Boston referee that like had his family take a bunch of pictures and Al Horford jerseys or something. But nonetheless, again, you people do with that information whatever you will.
Well,
go ahead.
916 Noah from West Sac. What's up with the horrible calls and no calls from the game last night? It was ridiculous. Well, to that point,
sure was ridiculous. The Heat
weird.
took 30 free throws yesterday to the Sacramento Kings 15. Again, do with that information whatever you'd like. Where have the Kings excelled so far this season? Well, there's been 3 main areas where I really pointed out the third quarter scoring has been a massive point for the Kings and was a huge part of the victory yesterday. We talked about it, 37-17. The Kings outscored the Miami Heat in the third quarter yesterday. That's a plus 20, obviously. And if you look at the Kings stats for the entire season, they're second in the NBA in point differential in that third quarter. They are a plus 6.6 points in that third quarter. Now, typically, in the Warriors run, that was their quarter of death, was leaving after halftime. They would take these massive, massive leads in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, more times than not, was absolutely cooked. So the third quarter is absolutely a massive one. It's where you make your adjustments, and if you make the better adjustment, a lot of the time that'll lead you to a victory, because the team obviously doesn't have another opportunity to sit down and try and figure out how to adjust to your adjustment. So Kings so far this season, second in NBA in third quarter point differential, third in total points per game in the third quarter at 31.9, second in the NBA in field goal percentage in the third quarter, shooting 53.5% in the third quarter. The offensive rating in Q3 is 123.9. That is good for third in the NBA. The defensive rating, which is really where they'll make their money, coming out in the second half and locking guys down, they are second in the NBA in third quarter defensive rating at 99.4 for a net rating of 24.5, which is as well second best in the NBA. Now, who is the catalyst of those third quarter successes? It's none other but De'Aaron Fox, who is averaging 8.3 points per game just in the third quarter. He, again, took off yesterday in the third. Let me see how many points he had in just that third quarter yesterday. He had 16, 7 of 10 from the field, De'Aaron was, in the third quarter yesterday. He's been shooting 62% from the field in quarter three, 42.9% from three in the third quarter. So his shots have pretty much from the perimeter only gone down, or only gone in, I should say, in the third quarter. It seems 42.9% from three in just the third quarter from De'Aaron. So that is area number one in which the Kings have excelled so far this season. Area number two, I have as free throw percentage. We've talked about it countless times. It's been mentioned on the broadcast countless times, but the Kings are number one in free throw percentage in the entirety of the NBA, 83.5%. Absolutely phenomenal, especially considering last year they were dead last by, I believe, multiple percentage points in free throw percentage. So to go from worst to first in just a calendar year, or just a season, an off season, absolutely incredible. Not only are they hitting it at the highest percentage, they are also ninth in just general free throw attempts, which is also a good sign. Of course, if you're hitting them, you want to be taking as much as possible. And ideally, I think that number could get even higher. But 25.5, ninth best in the NBA is definitely nothing to scoff at. Definitely the Kings taking advantage of the free throw opportunities they're getting, and they're getting them early and getting them often. They are first in the NBA in first quarter free throw attempts, 7.3 free throw attempts per game in just the first quarter. They're knocking it down at 80%, so it does fall off just a little bit from a percentage standpoint. But again, establishing early that they will go to the free throw line, absolutely huge, especially for getting a consistent whistle throughout the game. You establish it in the beginning of the game, it'll continue more times than not throughout the entirety of it. In the clutch, I mentioned their first quarter free throw percentage, 80%. In the clutch, which is really where you make your money, 85.7%. That is seventh best in the NBA. Definitely not ideal, because considering, you are first in overall free throw percentage, you'd like that to kind of be reflected in your clutch numbers. Seventh isn't bad by any stretch, but 85% I think is really good in just the clutch moments. Again, last 5 minutes in a 5-point game. I mentioned this stat earlier, but the Kings' best four free throw shooters this season: DeMar DeRozan, 86.8%, 7.6 attempts per game. De'Aaron Fox with a career high 86.1% from the free throw line. You asked about that number yesterday. He's at 5.1 attempts per game. Very good number. Keegan Murray, 85% on 2 attempts. Domantas Sabonis, 82.5% on 5.7 attempts per game. Both De'Aaron and Domas, again, last year were in the low 70s at that number. So that's a massive, massive improvement. And last but not least, and Alan, we'll get your thoughts here in a second, DeMar DeRozan, of course, in the clutch. Last night we saw 6 points, 2 assists in the last 5 minutes of that regulation. 24 total points in the clutch. That is good for third in the NBA in terms of total field goals made. He has 8, which is tied for second. The Kings in the clutch, 12.6 points. That is seventh best in the NBA. And Domantas Sabonis with number 1 in the NBA, 6 offensive rebounds just in the clutch. And just for reference, Will Z just put this out. how impressive 6 offensive rebounds in clutch time is. Last year, DeAndre Ayton led the league in clutch offensive rebounds with 20. Domantas Sabonis has 6 through 7 games. So there you go. Those are the 3 spots in which I feel like the Kings have absolutely excelled this season. DeMar in the clutch, free throw percentage, and third quarter scoring.
That's nuts, man. That free throw. I mean, hold on.
Yeah, clarification.
The Kings are number 1 in free throw percentage.
Free throw percentage, yep, in the entirety of the NBA, 83.5%.
When is the last time a team, and I know it's super early, and I don't know that they will finish number 1, but let's just play the game. Okay. Let's say they did. When is the last time a team has gone from worst free throw shooting team in the league to best in one season?
I don't think.
There's no way.
Can I just say, completely unfounded, never happened in
There's
NBA
no
history.
way.
Never happened in NBA history. The Kings are a full percentage clear of first place as well. Boston's number 2 at 82.2%. Again, the Kings are at 83.5%.
I'd even argue if they finish top 5, going from worst to top 5.
If you finish top 15.
Yeah.
If you finish top 15
From
after last year, they shot 74.5%. The next lowest number was 75.6%. So again, a full percentage point behind the 29th worst free throw percentage, and now they are first by a full percentage point. Make it make sense? I wish I could.
DeMar.
I wish I could.
It's
DeMar
DeRozan. He's just showing guys how easy it is.
It's so easy.
That's why it's called a free throw.
Yeah, it's free. It's completely free. And De'Aaron and Domas shooting at 70% probably is where the team went wrong last year anyway. Like, they probably shouldn't have never been that low of a percentage, but yeah, I mean, just absolutely incredible, the leap. Like you said, to go from last in the league to first, I can only imagine that's never been done in NBA history. I mean, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, there's no way. The Q3 scoring. And look, we even talked about the third quarter. This is
your quarter.
What? Yeah, it's
turning
somebody's
into their
quarter. This is a topsy-turvy Kings team. Last season, third quarter was a problem. Last season, they would come out. They would kind of lull into the third quarter. Nobody's in their seats besides Vivek there, just grinding film. And you blink and you went to get a hot dog or something like that, and you come back. The Kings are down 15.
Yep.
Or they had a lead, and then you blink,
and it's gone.
And it's gone. So this team, really, they're just deciding we're focusing on the things we weren't very good at last season. Monty's approach, and we know we just had Dwayne on the call, and we've talked about the personnel and how the personnel needs to improve. You need that bench to be a little bit stronger. But just the approach here has been, we're focusing on the things where we lacked last season. Last season, third quarter burned us. Last season, we stunk at free throws. We're going to make sure we are better in this regard. And in the clutch, obviously, you add somebody like DeMar DeRozan, it doesn't get much better than that. You are already good at in the clutch. But yeah, I do think it was kind of a two-trick pony with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, and there was a high usage there from those guys. In a game like yesterday where Malik is in foul trouble and can't really get it going, if you don't have DeMar yesterday, you're cooked.
It's over.
You're done.
It's over.
You're not even in a clutch situation because you probably never got back, because DeMar got you back in the clutch situation, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it just feels like there's no possible way where I could have seen them winning yesterday's game without a guy like DeMar DeRozan there. And you know, we love Malik here, but you know, it you don't know it's not enough until you actually have enough, and then you look back and say, wow, we were trying to do that with those tools. And it's not that the tools were bad, but it's just, you know, that there's a different level that it can go to. And I think we've already seen through 7 games that this team down the stretch is just, it's got too many guys to not succeed. I mean, we haven't even talked about the ridiculous dunk from Malik Monk that put it within 2. I mean, there's just so many guys that, you know, DeMar gets all the attention and it leaves Malik wide open for a drive like that for pretty much to bring the game within striking distance to close it. And it's just, it's a really, really entertaining, fun thing to watch. And hopefully they end up on the right side of it more times than not.
We've talked about the good. Like we said, it's not all unicorns and butterfingers.
That's right.
Now let's talk about the bad and how we should say the Kings can improve. We break down the bad and how they can improve on the other side. More of your calls, 916-339-1140. How you feeling, Sacramento? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Rob Thomas, a special intimate performance.
I don't wanna be lonely no more. I don't wanna have to pay for
Benefiting Sidewalk Angels Foundation. One night only, Saturday, November 16th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Rob Thomas, live. Tickets now. Visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno. Or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
The ball's loose, and it's grabbed by DeRozan. DeRozan gets away from one defender. Goes to Jordan McLaughlin. Right corner. Rainbow for three. Count the triple. Jordan McLaughlin, who has struggled to make any meaningful contribution here in a limited role in the season, is now 4 for 10 on the year from downtown. Nice job. DeRozan has it. Kings are down 6, 38-32. DeRozan at the free throw line. Leaves his feet, draws the foul, and wow, is able to score the basket. It's almost as if the whole process slows down. Everybody knows what's coming. It's usually an up fake, then a turn, and off the spin, the release for the shot. This time, it was contested. He was fouled. He got the shot to drop. DeRozan has it. Kings are down 6, 38-32. DeRozan at the free throw line. Leaves his feet, draws the foul, and wow, is able to score the basket. It's almost as if the whole process slows down. Everybody knows what's coming. It's usually an up fake, then a turn, and off the spin, the release for the shot. This time, it was contested. He was fouled. He got the shot to drop.
From the 916, without Fox's third, DeRozan can't have that fourth. Guys, what's your feeling about the third quarter, Fox and DeRozan closing in the fourth? I think it's a good road to victories. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, 916, but we can't. I'm not going to sit here and treat it like, I'm going to go baseball here, Chris. What are we talking about? Fox being the setup man and then DeMar DeRozan being the closer. I'm not saying that couldn't be the case. I'm just saying it's all going to be organic. It's not going to be, okay, De'Aaron, you go, and now DeRozan, you go. But if that's how it ends up working, and maybe 916 is saying that just seems like how it's been working lately, yeah, I'm good with that for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
good with that.
No, and I tweeted out those third quarter and free throw percentage numbers onto Twitter, and shout out to @SecureandDeBagley, who's always interacting with the show, is quote retweeted my stats and said pretty much exactly what that texter just said. Maybe it was Secure and DeBagley there. First quarter scoring for De'Aaron Fox, 5.7 for DeMar DeRozan, 3.4. Second quarter, De'Aaron Fox, 4.4, DeMar DeRozan, 8.6. Third quarter, De'Aaron Fox, 8.3, DeMar DeRozan, 4.3. Fourth quarter, De'Aaron Fox, 5.7, DeMar DeRozan, 7.9. So it has been a little bit of first quarter is De'Aaron, second quarter is DeMar, third quarter's De'Aaron, fourth quarter is DeMar. I don't know if it is planned that way, but I will say in the past, we've talked about it. It used to be the first quarter was Domantas Sabonis' quarter, and that's where you would look up and even 7 minutes into the game, the dude would have 7, 6, and 5. And it's like, what is going on? So I don't know if it is intentional, but if it's organic and that's how it works out, I think it's a really good recipe because, these guys individually can take over a game at any point, and to get them going is definitely, it's obviously paramount for these guys to be successful. So however it happens, I'm cool with it, but at least it doesn't seem like we feel them butting heads.
From the 916, guys, so happy with the Kings win. I said, let's get this rebound win. We fought hard, took it on the chin, and still took the dub and lit the beam.
That's right.
From Miami. That is from Eli McFly. Yes, they did. And it wasn't looking grim, Chris. To be honest with you, I just wasn't really that afraid of Miami's firepower. I know they were hot, but just personally, I just thought that, okay, they're going to cool off eventually. And they kind of didn't per se, but they cooled off just enough. And I guess it's more about the Kings heating up. But I was worried for sure because it is Eric Spoelstra, it is Jimmy Butler. But you do feel like, I think the main thing is when we talk about this roster construction, when the starting five is on the floor, I just don't think you're going to look around. When you're not going to look around a lot of teams, and there are not going to be a lot of games where you see the game start and you think, oh man, the Kings are overmatched here. And I think that was Monty's number one goal. There were games last season where you would look at one team, one starting five, the ball would tip, the game would start, and you'd say, the Kings are overmatched here. And that is not the case this season. Still got to work on the bench, but I do think that is a great feather in the cap to start the season. But it's not all sweet, as Draper said last night on the post game. The Kings do need to be better in certain aspects, Chris. What aspects are those?
Shout out Frankie Cardicelli, a friend of the show, who I think we're getting on, Frankie and Brendan, on Thursday, I think is currently the plan. So you'll hear from them very, very soon. But Frankie found some good and some bad, which we're going to highlight here for the Kings so far through 7 games. For what it's worth, Frankie did touch on a lot of the things that we touched on with the good: free throw percentage, field goal percentage, offensive rating, points per game, and defensive rating. All good numbers for the Kings. The bad numbers that Frankie points out for the Kings: fouls per game. Number one is they are 20th in the NBA in just general for fouls per game. That really reared its ugly head yesterday as Malik Monk got into foul trouble. Like you said earlier, Keon Ellis was in foul trouble. Domantas Sabonis has already fouled out of a game and found himself in a little bit of foul trouble yesterday, ending with 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a problem. And I think that the thing has been, I chalk it down to mainly their physicality. They really obviously like to defend pretty physically. The second half of last year, when they changed the rules, definitely benefited the Kings in defensive rating perspective. And I think that it's just the bump in physicality that they're still getting adjusted to. Mike Brown has been adamant year after year that he would much rather pull his guys back from a physical standpoint than have to tell them to ramp it up. I think that's a lot of what that is right now. But nonetheless, they are 20th in fouls per game. Rebounds per game has always been an issue with this team. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis even still leading the NBA in rebounding at 13.4. Keegan Murray has taken an uptick in rebounding. I think I just looked at it. He's at over 7.5 rebounds per game. So I don't really know where they improve with that number. I don't think there's a lot of natural big rebounders. Maybe DeMar can contribute a little bit more, but rebounding per game, 22nd in the NBA. And these are the really concerning numbers, the 2 3-point numbers. If you're not going to hit them, you better not give them up, and vice versa. And the Kings are not subscribing to that. They are shooting 33% from 3 so far this season, 24th in the NBA. Yeah. Definitely has been a really, really sore spot for this team. It's not even a Kevin Huerter injury thing. It is just Keegan Murray, who's supposed to be this team's knockdown best 3-point shooter. I don't know what's going on with him right now. He cannot find the bottom of the rim to save his life. So that's been really concerning. Again, 24th in the NBA in 3-point percentage. The opponent 3-point percentage, as we saw yesterday, through the roof for Miami, a team that is full of non-shooters. Even they shoot 41%, and that's pretty much how the story has been all season long. The Kings allow 38.6% to opponents from 3. That is 29th in the NBA, so second to last in the NBA in opponent 3-point percentage. That just has to be a place where the Kings can find some success. They have to get that number down if they don't want to sweat out a lot of these games.
Keegan Murray, 38.1% 3-point shooter for his career. He's shooting 30.2
That's better than I would have guessed.
Yeah, in the young 2024-2025 season. Kevin Huerter sick right now. So where is the shooting going to come from? Okay, Domantas Sabonis is the best three-point shooter they got right now.
100%.
And that's a problem. But what hasn't been a problem, adding DeMar DeRozan, he is that guy, and we have numbers to illustrate how much of that guy he has been for the Sacramento Kings. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike to the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Plati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Mita Chevy sends you $8,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock after rebates. All of them. Black Friday savings now at MitaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 12/1/24.
Dealers.
DeRozan in the paint, unfaked, double clutch reach to the glass, put him in double figures with 11 points. Here's a steal by Jordan McLaughlin, leads it to Keon Ellis, skips it back to Jordan. Now enters a pass to DeRozan, just above the baseline, one dribble, in rhythm, add 2 more to the tally. DeMar DeRozan trying to carry the club here now. He's got 13 points, got him back to within 2. It's 41-39.
Halfway through the second hour here on this brisk Tuesday. Why do you have that smirk, Chris?
Nothing. I just saw on my feed that Eli Manning did the headstand celebration yesterday on their broadcast. He actually did it really well.
He did a headstand in his house.
He must do yoga because
I love the Manning.
Yeah, he just Kareem Hunt scored a rushing touchdown, and Eli just kind of walked up, got on his head, and did a headstand for like 10 seconds. Pretty impressive. But I just laughed because I know you love the broadcast, and I was like, you would hate this.
Man, if only the Kings weren't playing.
I know, right?
Yeah,
watch. You could have, multi-casted it or something like that. YouTube TV.
I wanted to so bad. I wanted to so bad.
By the way, can I just can I be an old man for like 3 seconds here? Because I tweeted this out yesterday, and I just firmly believe it. Can we get a sideline reporter for a Kings broadcast? Yesterday, Sabonis got hit in the face, and the broadcast had to say essentially, like, we have to wait for Kings PR to give us the answer to what's going on with Sabonis, and that's exactly what a sideline reporter is for, is to be behind the sideline or behind the Kings bench saying, oh, yeah, Domantas Sabonis just walked to the locker room with some trainers. Looks like they're going to patch up his lip, and he's going to be right back out, or even just, hey, what went on in the Kings huddle there? 0.7 seconds left, and Miami's got the inbound sideline. What did you hear Coach Brown emphasize to the guys there? Are they going to protect the rim? Are they trying to sell out and not let any threes happen so that they're okay with just getting a sideline reporter? I think would go a long way. I just kind of noticed it because I love the NBC, love Mike, love Kyle, love Morgan, but they had 3 people in studio, and I was just like, instead of having 3 people in studio, it would have been nice to have somebody on the ground there.
I know a guy.
I'll do it.
That's right, and that's the other part of it too. Is Sacramento's got so much great talent and people who would definitely do it, and it's just I don't know. It would be I think it would be a huge benefit. Again, like we said, like I mentioned earlier with the clutch thing, it's just like it feels like one of those things where you don't really notice it because we haven't had it in so long. Katie, I think, was the last sideline reporter we had, but it's got a really big purpose, and it would have been nice to have last night.
Yeah. Well, look,
that's it.
Well, Chris, we're in the building. Let's talk to some people.
Let's do it.
A sizzle on the sideline. Dizzle.
Come on.
Make it happen.
It writes itself.
Make it happen. I'll be, and
You'll be in there.
I'll be in there.
Come on.
And you can make the argument that it is more, I shouldn't say more important, but it serves more of a purpose in the NBA than in the NFL. I mean, the NFL, the sideline's so dang long, right? At least
you have to have like 3 people. It's like you got to have one on one side of the sideline, one on the other.
Oliver. You got a bunch of people. You got Aaron Ramsey's over here. At least in the NBA,
chase down the coach,
exactly. The hold me back guy. At least in the NBA, it's such a closed space that you just kick it right there.
Right where the coaches are. You just lean in, lean forward.
I'm just right there, my little suit.
Get your little notepad
out. I got my little notepad, little suit.
Part of it's looking the job, right?
Exactly.
Like you just got to look like if you get a pencil in your ear, you're solid.
Y'all see me at the game. I come fit it up.
Come on.
Sacramento, stop playing with us.
That's all it takes.
Stop playing. We already got the connection. We're the flagship. I just think it's
just make it happen.
I just think.
Come on. You're telling me
a different job.
3.
That's another.
That's close. We're getting close.
That's another different job.
Yeah, we're getting close though.
All right, I like that, Chris.
Yeah, please.
We can start it.
It's not hard. I mean, it's not even like it's a big ask. Like every team, it feels like across the league has some version of a sideline reporter. But again, Katie was the last one, and maybe Katie was just so good that they had to retire it.
I'll start I'll start at the bottom too. I'll go to Stockton.
Whatever. Yeah.
I'll show you what I can do.
Exactly.
You know, I don't need to be given things.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Starting from the bottom.
Come on.
Now we're here in Sacramento.
Ladders.
That's right. All W's, no L's.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Let's get it going.
And that's my gripe.
There you go.
That's it.
All right, Chris. Speaking of gripes, we talked about the good, we talked about the bad, but I don't think anybody has any gripes when it comes to DeMar DeRozan. He has been that dude. DeMar DeRozan had his 7th straight game with 20 or more points to begin the season with the Kings, tying Chris Webber at 7 games, February 15th, or excuse me, the 5th through the 17th, 1999, for the longest 20-point streak to start a tenure with the franchise. The 4-point play for DeMar put him number 29 on the all-time scoring list above Charles Barkley, shooting 86.8 from the free throw stripe as well. He's been exactly what the doctor ordered. It's the epitome of what I think the Kings were hoping for when it comes to making that starting lineup better and taking the starting lineup to a new level. And there's not enough words to describe what DeMar DeRozan has been to this team. I think the usage might be almost too high, but I feel like that for all the starters right now. So I'm just going to cancel that, besides the Kevin Huerters and the Keons of the world. But DeMar DeRozan, the whole fit conversation and spacing conversation, I don't really think, I guess you can make the argument, Chris, because of the lack of 3-point shooting. Would you say that maybe that has to do with the DeMar DeRozan spacing, or is that just dudes missing open shots?
I think it's dudes missing open shots. I don't think DeMar has anything to do with De'Aaron shooting 29% from 3, Keegan shooting 30%, Malik shooting 31%. Like, they're still getting it up. They're still getting open looks. They're just missing them. And I actually pulled the numbers on the open looks. Shout out Jason Ross, who I guess pointed it out yesterday on the broadcast. But yeah, the Kings so far this season have shot 23.8% on open threes. Open threes is classified as 4 to 6 feet from the closest defender.
That's crazy.
23.8%. For wide open, which is 6+ feet away, the nearest defender, 41%. So there's been some sort of weird drop off there with open looks, which should tell you that there should be some sort of progression towards the mean there, where the Kings hopefully can get to more of a respectable level. 23% is absolutely insane. So I think DeMar has been absolutely incredible. Nate said before the show, like, he almost had the feeling that DeMar is like too good to be on the Kings. Like, it feels like we're not allowed to have a player like DeMar DeRozan because of things like last night, frankly, is I think what Nate's getting to is, we just don't have guys who hit crazy clutch shots like that out of nowhere. Like, those shots usually careen off, and it's like, wow, what a terrible shot that was early into the shot clock, and now the game is over. DeMar DeRozan has just felt different for this team. The way he gets to the free throw line, the fact that it feels like he has a unique whistle across the NBA, I think, is, again, something that's pretty unique that the Kings don't really have. It just feels like he's, yesterday on the broadcast, Mark Jones kept calling him the adult in the room, more so talking about the shots that he was taking and making. But I really do think that there is a semblance of that this team is no longer the fun, scratchy, hey, we're the underdog story. I think DeMar gives them like a real sense of maturity and like a real sense of, this, if they were to be the 3 seed, I don't think many people would be having the same 3 seed conversation that they had in that first team Beam Team season. I think that people take this team more seriously because DeMar's on it. And without him, I think that there's a little bit of, okay, they're young, they're fast, but they definitely have their weak points to exploit. Feels like with DeMar, even if that still is true, I think that you just have to give them a level of respect that they just didn't have before.
Bringing DeMar in, Chris, and what you've watched so far, and I know we're up against it, we can get to it more on the other side as well, but I know you have been, and you brought up the Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson move earlier in the show. I know you've been of the mindset of, hey, let's not make any crazy moves or try to destroying the timeline by trying to accelerate it too much. Do you feel any differently now? Does it feel like you're willing to give, because we know the prices on the guys like the Nets, we know the prices aren't going to be cheap, but does it feel like you'd be more willing to give up more than you were willing to give up prior to watching these guys play, to say, hey, we might as well go for it?
I think maybe later in the year, and that's more myself, like just because I personally want to make sure that that kind of move would be worth it, that the juice is worth the squeeze there. Like if you're going to make a move like that, you better make sure that move doesn't just put you, into conference title contention.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making a move like that, you want to be seriously considered as one of the best teams in the NBA because you're going to give up pretty much what I assume would be your best and remaining assets. And hopefully that's just draft assets and doesn't include a Keegan Murray, doesn't include a Devin Carter, though I won't say I'm not advocating for it. But again, the longer that Devin Carter doesn't play and maybe the team continues to look good and look like they're one piece away, that can maybe be a situation where you say, hey, we haven't even looked at this kid, Devin Carter, yet. Maybe somebody's intrigued by him enough with an additional first-round pick attached to it that can get you something. But to me, that conversation personally isn't until later in the year when we have a better grasp of exactly where this Kings team stands in the whole grand scheme of things. I'm not willing to give up significant assets unless I know it's going to be for a significant return.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if the Kings are ready for that return yet. I think they're definitely trending in that direction, but I'm just not ready to put my stamp on it yet.
Well, I think you made a good point to the Nets, right? The Nets trying to ask for a King's ransom. I think you go back to the Nets and say, hey, we like Cam Johnson, we like Dorian Finney-Smith, but nobody's going to add these guys and be looked at as a favorite to win the whole thing.
Right.
So we can't give up this.
Yeah.
This is what we can give up, but we can't give up what you're asking for. And we understand you're trying to get good value, but let's not act like, and you were talking about getting both of them, even just one of them,
yeah.
That's not going to put us in contention. So we can't sell the farm for all that. I mean, look at the Knicks and Mikal Bridges. We got to see how that even turns up. And he was supposed to be a dude. Coming up next, we take a trip around the NBA, and then we talk about De'Aaron Fox turning it on. Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
It's 4th and goal. The pressure's on. The home team needs this to win it. No matter what you're up against, it's always a win at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Special finance options and trade-in offers make it easier than ever to upgrade your ride. Because at Stockton Honda, we believe everyone deserves a winning deal.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Black Friday is on its way at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Low price Makita Bare tools starting at $89, Makita batteries starting at just $49, and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 25th through December 2nd. That's right, one whole week of crazy deals on power tools. So don't forget, our Black Friday sale will be November 25th through December 2nd. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at fastenersinc.net.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The next election is November 5th. Vote centers open October 26th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Sabonis now on the second possession or the third possession of the quarter goes to Fox, and Fox hits a three-pointer. Boy, he's happy to see that goal, as I think all Kings fans. Aaron Fox, only his second three-point attempt. It's successful. Kings, however, are only 4 of 15 on the night.
His brother, De'Aaron Fox.
From the 916, the DeRozan effect. Number 1 in free throw percentage. Number 1 in points off mid-range. Playoff basketball often comes down to those two things. Great win last night. Glad Sabonis got that after getting beat up all game long from Folsom Mike. That's right, Folsom Mike. And as your future sideline reporter, I'll be able to report on things like that.
Come on.
I'm huge.
Yeah, start. It's campaign season's over,
campaigning.
but you should campaign.
I'm huge.
That's
on,
what I will do for your sideline reporting.
I'm huge on manifesting.
Yeah.
Right? I'm huge on manifestation. We got to talk about these things, guys.
Yeah. Speaking into existence.
Help me help you,
That's
Sacramento.
Right. Yes.
We know some people. I know who
I
need to call.
Found the tagline. Yeah. You actually probably do know.
I know who to call. But it all started with Chris Watkins. All right.
It's plain of the seed.
Let's take a trip around.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Terrible.
That's crazy.
That is just I think you did that on purpose.
Wow.
With your stupid smirk and your blonde locks.
Stupid.
Yeah.
A little violent.
It's Diet Red. Go to Riverdale or something.
That was really good.
Riverdale.
Yeah. The show.
Oh, okay.
You look like Archie with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Red. That's right.
That's
Stupid.
spot on.
We still making Archies?
Like the comic?
No,
Archie?
like the human. We're still using the name Archie.
Arch Manning, I think he goes by Arch. I don't think he goes by Archie. No, would be my answer. I don't know any.
I don't mind
I
Archie.
definitely don't know any.
All right.
I used to have a turtle named Archie.
Let's go around the NBA. Jordan Poole, the revenge game part, whatever. Jordan Poole and Draymond getting to a petty off. Jordan Poole played pretty darn well as the Wizards kept it close against the Warriors, who saw the return of Steph Curry, but Steph Curry only played 24 minutes. That was enough for the Warriors to get it done. But there are a couple moments where the Draymond Jordan Poole thing was still a bit awkward. You had Jordan Poole make a three and then point to Draymond. And funny enough, this is classic Draymond. People will love this. Steph made a three, and Draymond then pointed to Jordan Poole after Steph made the three. And I'm not even kidding. That's what actually happened.
Draymond actually played well yesterday, too.
He did. He balled out. He had 18 points, which is might be close to a career high for Draymond Green. There was a scene where I think it was Bub Carrington, was talking to Draymond Green during the game, and Jordan Poole pulls Bub Carrington away from Draymond. It's a very awkward situation there. Then Draymond says some things to Jordan Poole after the game. They did, I wouldn't say hash it out. I don't know what Jordan Poole said, but Draymond talks about Jordan Poole's game in his second year with the Wizards. Last year, he was pressing a lot because I punched him. I'm kidding. I added that in there.
I was like, that's crazy.
Last year, he was pressing a lot. He's not taking some of the shots he was taking last year. It was bad shots, and this year, he's a lot more settled in. Chris, it's time heal all wounds and black eyes?
Not here. Definitely not here, but no, if I had to guess, maybe Jordan's just trying to put it behind him at this point, but there's no way that you forget something like that. I did think it was interesting. He had a nice long embrace with Steve Kerr. I wonder what those two had to say with each other. But yeah, between Draymond and Jordan Poole, there's no way. There's no way. I could never forgive someone for like that. You got me traded across the country.
Yeah.
Come on. That's
He did get
crazy.
a bag. He did get
I was on the
get a
Warriors.
bag, though.
I was on the Warriors, and you put me on the Wizards.
He did get a bag, though.
He did, for sure.
I think Jordan Poole, he'll get moved again. He's got to prove. He's got to figure out who he is in this league. Right? Are you a starter? Are you going to be the Michael? I think his path should be a Lou Will.
He's a six man to me.
Yeah. Speaking of six man, I got bad news, guys.
Oh, no.
Very similar to what Malik has dealt with. There is a new name entering the chat for the six man conversation. Obviously, Malik has lost two different guys the last couple years. Peyton Pritchard is the new favorite to win six man of the year per Bovada. Peyton Pritchard plus 400. It gets worse. Buddy Hield plus 550. Malik Mugg plus 700. Benedict Mathurin plus 750. Trey Mann plus 850. Naz Reid plus 1,000. I know Malik says he's over it.
Get in now. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I know Malik says he's kind of over it, but that'd be rough, man. Now you have Peyton Pritchard winning it, and don't let Buddy Hield win it. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bench points right now. Malik is actually 12th in bench points per game at 13.1. He's got quite a list of people in front of him, one including Naz Reid, who obviously won it last year. Jonathan Kuminga's done some really nice things, just under 18 a game off the bench. Buddy's at 20 a game off the bench. It might be a really tough year. We kind of thought this was the year that Malik was going to win by default. Looks like there's a lot of guys who might be here to stay, especially considering off the bench for the remainder of the season. So it might be a little bit harder than we would have thought. That was supposed to be the guaranteed one for the Kings this year.
Yeah, hopefully some of the guys, and Naz Reid can get into the starting lineup, but Kuminga can get into the starting lineup and go from there. But yeah, it might just, after last season, it might just be cooked. It is what it is. Speaking of cooked, Mike James, Chris, former NBA player, he's had this to say, and it had a lot of people talking again about what the NBA is right now and why the numbers are down and things like that. Mike James says, who plays overseas now, the NBA is nice. It's not really made for people like me. It's more made for 6'7" people who jump and just play defense and sit in the corner. Essentially, he's saying what we've heard before. If you are not one of those dudes, you better be 6'7" and sit in the corner and be able to shoot threes and or defend. You see any validity in what he's saying?
For sure. I mean, Mike James, especially, is somebody who can talk, just because even though he is not really an NBA name, he's probably the best European basketball player over the past 5 or 6 years. He's gotten a couple MVPs. Him and Sasha would go back and forth for EuroLeague titles. I mean, I definitely think there's some validity to it, more so in the sense of there's guys who are 6'7" and don't really have any skill besides size and athleticism. And then there's guys like Mike James who are, 5'10", but are, like Boogie Ellis. Like Boogie Ellis has more skill than I think a lot of, some of the bigger guys in the NBA, but only because he's small, he can't really find a role. So I don't really know if that's just always been the case or if it's just more highlighted now, but it really feels like I wouldn't disagree with what Mike James is saying.
Barring a suspension, which could happen, the 76ers are hoping Joel Embiid could return to play as soon as Wednesday versus the Clippers. Chris, I watched the Sixers-Suns game last night. Sixers, they kind of tricked it off. I mean, you got Buscelli playing. You have Buscelli playing a lot of minutes, man. He took
I might have to say sorry, man.
Well, I mean, they're like 1-7, so
that's
maybe
also
not.
true.
But
He had 16 last night or something like that. I was like, okay, I didn't think he could score at all.
Yeah, he's putting them up.
Yeah.
He's going to shoot that 3-ball. But the 76ers, they got to get back on track here, and they got to do it quickly. So I think they're really hoping that Joel Embiid can get back. It's all fun and cute to say we're just going to hang around and get a 4 or 5 seed, and then we're going to make a stretch. But then other teams start winning games, and you're thinking, oh, it's more like a 9 or 10 seed, and we're going to have to get it out the mud that way. Lou Will on Run It Back from FanDuel TV. That's how you know the NBA is back. Lou Will says Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are the best duo in the NBA. Darius Garland, huge game, 39 points, and you have Donovan Mitchell, who's been balling. Chris, are they how should I say this? Are they the Charmeleon to Dame Lillard to that Charmander in Portland with Dame Lillard and the crew?
So Charmander is Şengün, Charmeleon is Sabonis, and Charizard is Jokic. That's a comparison.
CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, are they the Charmander to Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland's Charmeleon?
I would
Or are
probably
they the
flip
same?
it. I would probably flip it, considering Dame and CJ at least made the Western Finals.
Yeah, that's true.
Darius Garland and Donovan haven't really accomplished much of anything yet. They're a good duo. I don't even know if I would put them top 5, but it's a perfectly fine duo, and the Cavs have found success. But I don't know if I would count them as any sort of generational duo, or at least they don't come up right now in terms of what I would think of. Maybe as two guard combos, but yeah, I wouldn't think generational with those two.
I mean, this strikes me as the same conversation as the quarterback convo. Right now, they're top 5. Right now, they might be top 3 in how they're playing.
Sure.
But overall, I don't think we're looking at them like that until, like you said, you got to do something before any conversations like that happen. And last but not least, Chris, Anthony Davis is the leading scorer in the NBA right now with 32.6 points a game. Anthony Davis 1, Giannis 2 at 31 points, Tyrese Maxey 3 at 30.2 points, Jason Tatum 4 at 30 even, Jokic at 29.6, Paolo Banchero dealing with that injury 29 even. Anthony Davis, is he taking his game to another level, Chris?
Yes, absolutely. He looks absolutely unstoppable. We saw him here in Sacramento. He's shooting 16% from 3, funny enough. It feels like the only 3 he made was that 3 to seal that game, so that's fun. But he's been out of this world. I mean, he just looks exactly how I think everyone expected him to look, and maybe this is just what a healthy Anthony Davis looks like. But, that's also the problem, is that he's very healthy right now, and yeah, the Lakers have been more successful than what I think people have thought, but at the same time, 36 minutes a game for Anthony Davis. People talk a lot about the Kings playing their players too much. Anthony Davis 16th in terms of minutes per game right now in the NBA. We'll see if it lasts. That's really all I got to say about that. But he's been really, really good this year so far.
De'Aaron Fox turning it on for the Sacramento Kings. Let's discuss Swipa and what he's bringing to Sacramento. And Keegan Murray speaks on the best version of the Kings and how De'Aaron Fox fits into that. Stiles Watkins, that's good.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Lob ball. George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With NBA League Pass, you can keep up with the whole league.
Wait, is this for real?
For real.
So I can choose from so many live games?
Yeah, up to 4 with multi-view.
And watch my favorite players dunk?
From every angle, home or away.
Wow, unbelievable.
Believe it, kid. With NBA League Pass, it's all possible. NBA League Pass, your home for streaming hoops.
Only select out-of-market games available and local blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years, where aloha is served daily. Located just steps away from the arena, whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Are you planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
The year was 1948. The Sacramento Symphony was founded. Harry Truman was president. Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver was born. And Walter Keyes opened his first Naturewood home furnishing store 76 years ago on 25th and Broadway. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. All those many years ago, the Keyes family promised integrity and quality in serving families just like yours and mine. Near as I can tell, Walter would have been pretty proud to know that those same values are evident today at Naturewood Home Furnishings. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings. Furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their Veterans Day Save the Tax sale and get started making your own brand of memories. The Keys family would love to hear them. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton and Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Keon Ellis now to Sabonis. Sabonis, who's had a quiet night. Ball fake to a cutting Keegan. Gives to Fox at the top of the circle. Lobs inside for Sabonis. Gives to the baseline. Two-hand flush. That's the best execution the Kings have shown tonight in a half-court situation. And that's going to be your Jiffy Lube drive of the game. You're listening to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross tomorrow morning at 7:45. Your chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area.
Found this interesting, guys. So DeAndre Hopkins balled out last night. A little later in the show, we'll get into some football. DeAndre Hopkins balled out last night. What do you have? 3 touchdowns? 2 touchdowns?
I know it was at least 2.
At least 2. And a really big catch in overtime. Did you see Baker's face when they flipped the coin?
Yeah.
And he called tails. Tails never fails.
Yep.
I think there's supposed to be some signs behind that, but they're not using normal quarters. I think the argument.
Oh, really?
I don't think they are.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure they use
some
an NFL
special
coin.
Because I think the argument with quarters was that tails heads is heavier. So that's why tails comes up more.
Huh.
I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense. I would track that, one
tails
side of
never
the
fails.
inscription would be a little bit
so Baker
more weighty.
Yeah, Baker called tails and heads, and we all knew heads was coming up, right? I mean, there was no way. That's just what happens in Kansas City.
The NFL uses a coin made by the Highland Mint in Melbourne, Florida, not Australia.
I'm sure they're very proud
for the official coin toss at the Super Bowl and other games.
There you go.
So it is not.
Wow.
It is correct.
So DeAndre Hopkins posts this
Weird
after
flash.
his huge game, 3 dots, ... And it's a picture of Randy Moss and Tom Brady. Obviously, that team went undefeated and they were cooking. But they also lost. So I'm not really sure why DeAndre Hopkins posted that. And then all the comments are saying, yeah, I like it, but you're going to get that ring. Good comparison, but why would you do what? You kind of jinx yourself, no?
I mean, they went
ring.
undefeated. They were like out of control together, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more what he's talking about is the connection's going to be outer worldly instead of necessarily their team success.
Yeah, more NFL coming up as the trade deadline. We have a tracker here, and we are keeping up with everything, and we will go over that tracker once everything kind of shuts down there. But we are going to talk about De'Aaron Fox for a moment. As De'Aaron Fox as the head of the snake, he is somebody that we hold to a very high standard because we have to. This is the golden age of guards in the NBA, and it's really the golden age of stars and young stars. So De'Aaron Fox, if he wants to be in that conversation, it's not going to be easy. We know what's on the line for him, $345 million. and he can really help himself and help the team all at the same time, according to Keegan Murray, for what the best version of the Kings is. Here it is.
Did you notice anything from Fox in that quarter in particular, given that he was coming off, that night he had in Toronto on Saturday?
He's aggressive all the time. And when he's aggressive is when we're at our best. We can go on big runs. So he was the focal point of our run in the third quarter.
The 15-minute halftime break seemed to benefit the Kings. They scored a quick 9-0 run in the third quarter. With Fox's aggressiveness amped up on both ends of the floor, the star guard scored 16 of Sacramento's first 25 points in the frame. That is from SactownSports.com, Frankie Cardicelli. Great stuff there, Chris. And Keegan Murray, just talking about how the best version of this team is when De'Aaron Fox is aggressive. That's why it might be a third quarter thing. It might be a fourth quarter thing. We saw even in the Timberwolves the first game, it was more DeMar DeRozan in that fourth quarter. But as much as I wouldn't say go back and forth with De'Aaron Fox, but there's certain things we want to see. How happy were you with his performance last night?
I mean, it was great. It was the selective 3-point nature was welcomed, even though he did miss his first couple ones. Looked a little bit scary there for a second, but he was really selective with it. I think we said he finished 3 of 6 from three in yesterday's game. So that I think is a massive positive. He got to the rim with more frequency yesterday. I took that as a massive positive. And really, I think the big thing for me was also just not really pressing. Wasn't looking like, he felt the weight of missing the game winner in the other night or anything like that. He very much let the game come to him. And ultimately, I was really happy with how he performed yesterday. Thought he just did a great job on both sides of the floor. There was also the moment there where Jimmy Butler's taking that turnaround fade for I believe that was the one of the last shots of the game, and De'Aaron is shadowing Tyler Hero on the outside, and really just doesn't let Tyler Hero break free for even a second. So not only on the offensive end, but also defensively yesterday, De'Aaron felt like he was completely locked in. And I think that's the exact kind of performance you want to see from him is clinching the game both on offense and defense.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox last night, 37 minutes, 11 for 21, 3 for 6 from three-point range, 3 for 4 from free throw. He had 28 points. Chris, when we just named off the guys, and obviously positions all matter, but when you look at De'Aaron Fox right now, 7 games in to this young season, he's averaging 37.4 minutes, 48.4% from the field, 29.8 from three-point range, 86.1 from free throw, 5.3 rebounds, 5.6 assists, 2.1 steals, and 4.1 turnovers. He's averaging 24.1 points a game. How realistic do you think it is? Like I said, very early in the season, but do you think De'Aaron is going to be able to get this Supermax?
Right now, it doesn't look great. I think that there is just so many good guards in the league that his play hasn't necessarily stuck out. But if he has more games like he had yesterday, he's definitely going to be in the conversation. He just has to make one of the 3. He doesn't have to make first team specifically. So there's a chance that if the Kings have a good enough record that he can sneak in there. But I think the problem for him, which is a great problem for the Kings to have, but not necessarily for De'Aaron Fox, is if that team is good and they only can have one representative just because of how stacked the rest of the league is it going to be De'Aaron? I don't know at this point. I mean, it feels like we've seen Sabonis get the nod for all NBA more than he has. DeMar DeRozan has definitely been, you could argue, more impactful for the team through 7 games than De'Aaron has been. So I think the tough part for him might just be that the competition on his own team might end up taking him out of being the Kings' only representative in all NBA. But if they can finish as a top 4 seed at least, there's a good chance that you can get 2 of them in, and obviously that really helps his chances. But if you're going to be a 6 or a 7 seed, there's no justification unless you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you have LeBron and AD. It's going to be really tough to get 2 players in from just your team if you're not a top 4 seed in the West. And even then, you probably have to be a top 3 seed and be a really big story for the season. It's going to be really, really tough for him to do it.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm looking here at the points per game, and you see just right off the top, as we were kind of discussing, you got Tyrese Maxey, who's a guard. He's leading all the other guards. And then you got Luka. You have Tyrese Maxey right now. This is just scoring. Tyrese Maxey, Luka, LaMelo Ball, Dame Lillard, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson. That's 6 right there. Shea. Okay. And then you have DeMar DeRozan.
More than he is.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan, Cam Thomas. All right, Cam Thomas. Norman Powell, Devin Booker. So it's going to be tough. And De'Aaron is sitting, he's sitting at 19 right now. So he's probably subtracting the non-guards. He's probably sitting at about, 9th, something like that.
I have a list of guards. It depends who you count as guard. Like this has Tatum as a guard. It has Brunson. Jaylen Brown is listed as a guard.
Tatum as a guard?
Yeah. I mean, this is the NBA's NBA.com stats. If you filter by position and go guard, it technically has De'Aaron as 15th. But if you take guys like Jaylen Brown, Tatum, you want to take Luka off, then he obviously falls more close to 10. But he's just outside the top 10.
So opportunity there. And look, the bottom line is De'Aaron is in a position where he wants it to be organic. But like I said, this is why I think what Keegan Murray said is so important, because he can help himself and nobody's going to sit there and think, hey, De'Aaron is just stat padding or whatever. Right. The best version of this team is when De'Aaron Fox is aggressive. So he can literally just help himself. In the 9-1-6, Fox took over the third. That changed the game for sure as it opened up other things in the fourth. That is from Folsom Mike. And that's exactly right. Folsom Mike, his ability to just add. I mean, that's why they're called a big three. If you got to handle all three of them, that's a problem, right? And DeMar DeRozan, I mean, I'm not saying I'm looking for it, Chris, but I'm just trying to figure out what a bad game for DeMar DeRozan, what that even looks like, because I feel like even a bad game, he will still contribute because of his ability to just get to his spot, right? And maybe there's just
it'd probably be a lot of misses. From that spot.
But it's, in and out, just kind of unlucky more so than, oh man, he was just straight cold. It was more of just the ball just wasn't falling for him on that day. Real quick, Chris, Esteban, what language is that? That's from around the NBA when we were talking about Charmeleon and Charmander. That's Pokemon. Everybody knows Pokemon, right? Well,
yeah. Not the. There's a certain demographic.
I thought Pokemon has been around for a bit now.
90s. It came out initial, in the 90s.
But then you had, what was the game, Nate? I know you played when people were chasing around.
Pokemon Go. You think there was a bunch of.
No. I'm saying your kids might have it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, kids definitely for sure know Pokemon. That's what I'm saying is that there's a very hard line of like post, people born in 1994.
But I'm saying you have parents. My parents know Pokemon because of me.
But would they
know Charmander?
Yeah. Like they might know. They know the word Pokemon.
Yeah, they would know Pikachu.
They know what Pokemon.
They know Pikachu.
Yeah.
That's what they would know. Yeah. And then you have us, and then you have people younger than us that have Pokemon Go,
like us.
And then you have parents of the Pokemon goers.
Yes.
So it's all covered.
That's assuming that the parents know at all what the kids are up to.
You said nothing like us. I was driving in today, and I left my workout playlist on accident. Humble brag there. What came on?
Nothing like us.
Nothing like us. I thought, man, and I didn't change it. I was too close. You ever too close somewhere? You just don't feel like changing the song.
No, I changed it. I changed that thing immediately, expeditiously. I don't care. I can't have a bad second.
It didn't bother me as much as I thought.
Yeah, I'm the worst at that.
Maybe I just haven't listened to it for a while. But the Kings do play at home tomorrow, so whenever DeMar DeRozan scores, you'll definitely hear
counting him.
Some of that. Speaking of tomorrow, let's look forward for the Kings. Let's have a check-in on that 11-game stretch that Chris and I discussed to kick off the season. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza! Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
DeMar DeRozan isolated right side, backing the defender down to the baseline, draws the foul, and scores the basket. Once again displaying his amazing one-on-one ability, totally under control. No duress whatsoever for number 10.
By the way, some San Francisco Giants news coming out. This broke a day or so ago. Zach Manassian been named the Giants GM. Buster has done some talking. Camilo Doval, teams are calling about Camilo Doval, who lost his starting or his closing role to Ryan Walker. Buster spoke earlier with the media. Buster talked about Tyler Fitzgerald doing a good job for the Giants, but they will be looking for a shortstop. So Willie Adames come on home. And Marco Luciano may be moved to the outfield, which is what I said the Giants should have done about 3 or 4 years ago. But here we are, as long as you get there, and we'll see what even happens at this point with the Giants and their loaded outfield. You might just be looking to move Marco Luciano for that shortstop. All right, Chris, as we look forward for the Kings, as we discussed, the Kings, we wanted them to, we thought 8-3 was going to be possible, but they're going to have to win some games that they weren't maybe supposed to win, or they were going to have to win some tough games. And that's exactly what they've done right now. They are sitting at 4-3. So at this point, if you want to get to 8-3, you can't lose. All right. That's how that works. For that 11 game stretch. So next game, you get Toronto, that revenge game. Will be Davion back in the building? I wonder if Davion will play.
Will he bring his Crody? Yeah, bro.
He's not. Drake won't be.
Yeah, man. It's such a nice time.
What
out
is
there
he gonna?
in Sacramento.
What is he gonna do if he shows up, Drake?
Bro, he's gonna be on his ones, fam.
He's gonna go to Tiger later.
Yeah, dude. That's probably his kind of spot. That's probably.
It's all. We all gonna be there.
Oh yeah.
So you get that W. That's now you're sitting at 5-3. You can get that. That Clippers game does scare me, Chris.
Yeah.
Actually, both those games scare me. The Clippers game, you can get that one. You're at 6-3. Suns, I think we had the Suns as a loss. So maybe the 8-3 doesn't happen, but you can get to 6-4 at that point, and then we just believe that you're going to take care of business against the San Antonio Spurs, and now you're 7-4. It's pretty darn good with a chance to be 8-3. I'm not saying that it can't happen. It is a back-to-back, and the Spurs would be on the second half of that back-to-back. Knowing the Kings, they'll beat the Suns, then lose to the Spurs. That's probably how that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough stretch ahead of them. This is really where you start to see some good opponents. But yeah, the Raptors, you should have no problem with them on Wednesday. There's really no reason, especially after losing to them. You should definitely, honestly, blow them out of the water. You should come fully prepared, fully expecting to essentially play the Celtics that day. And, you should be surprised to see that it's the Toronto Raptors across from you. I really hope that they take it to them, and that game shouldn't be close at all. Clippers game will be interesting. The Clippers have looked really disappointing so far. through a couple games this year. They just don't look like they have the horses to get it done. Norm Powell's been great. Harden has been pretty good. Zubac has been all right, but they really just lack overall depth. I think the Kings should win that one too. They're the more talented team. That Suns game is really the first really, really big test since those opening games against the Lakers and the Wolves. I think they're more ready for it. The Suns have really competed so far this season. Like, they haven't necessarily blown people out. They've had a lot of close games. I wonder if that one's going to be an all-time classic, just because it felt like last year when those two teams met up, every single time it would be some crazy thing happens. I remember the Kings gave the Suns a huge run in Phoenix to allow them back in that one, and I think Phoenix ended up winning it. I wouldn't be surprised if those games go down to the wire, both of them.
Yeah, you have that stretch you're talking about. The Clippers are no slouch. Then you have a back-to-back with the Suns and the Spurs. Then you get the Suns again at home, and then right after that, a day later, not a back-to-back, but a day later, you get the Timberwolves. You get a little bit of a break after that with Utah, Atlanta. You play the Clippers again. Then you have the Nets, who have been playing hard. Jordy comes home, and then you see what is going on. And I don't know if the Thunder will still be undefeated by then. I sure hope not, or maybe I hope so. I'm not sure. But yeah, tough stretch for the Kings, Chris, but could be easier, could be harder as well. So I think that the games that worry me, I still feel like the Clippers game worries me for whatever reason. Obviously, at least one of those Suns games worries me, and you have the Timberwolves as well. I will say this, Chris, as I mentioned, I was watching the Suns last night. I mean, they really had no business winning that game. That was a game where Devin Booker was pretty darn bad. Devin Booker can be really hot and cold. Kind of reminds me of Jordan Love a little bit, that he can be really hot and cold. And Kevin Durant just saved them. And Kevin Durant is still doing that Kevin Durant thing. I guess it'll be Keegan on Kevin Durant when we get there. I'm assuming that's basically what it was last season. Maybe they'll throw DeMar just because DeMar can play a little bit of old man game with them. But yeah, really, these guys are just going to be guarding themselves. But what do you think the Kings do? How do you think they ended? You think they can pull off the 8-3 for your first 11 game stretch, or are you looking at a 7-4 or worse?
I mean, I feel good about their chances coming up. I mean, again, I think the Raptors are an easier opponent. I think the Clippers are a team that you should be able to take advantage of. And then you head out to Phoenix. I think that's really the one where you really feel like you're tested. But hopefully they view that as a test as well. Hopefully they kind of view that as their first really big mark since those first couple games, and they take that game more seriously than Phoenix does. I'm sure Phoenix doesn't look at Sacramento and necessarily say, oh, here's a big chance for us to make a statement, even though they are 6-1 so far this season. I'm sure they just view the Kings as another team on the on the schedule. I mean, they've already played they're going to play Dallas right before Sacramento, so they will have played Dallas twice, the Lakers twice, the Clippers twice. They will have played the Heat and the Sixers at that point. I don't think they're looking at the Kings as anything more than just another roadblock along the way. And by the way, I'm looking at Phoenix's schedule. It's just brutal. So if they can continue to reel off wins, I mean, they get the like you said, the clutch win last night against the Sixers, but coming up, they have Miami, they have at Dallas, then they have the Kings, then they have at Jazz, then the Kings again, then Thunder, then Wolves, then Magic, Knicks, Lakers, Nets, Warriors. It's just an absolute bloodbath for the Suns, which is obviously good for the Kings being in their division. There's a chance for them way too early in the season to kind of, put the Suns on notice and say, hey, this is going to be a race throughout the year in the Pacific Division. Not that anyone super cares about divisions, but I think that there's an opportunity here for the Kings to really reel off some wins. And, those two Suns games, I think the hope is that you can just split those.
Yeah, I will say this. Maybe that team, the Suns, when you look at the Kings, and I mentioned how last season there'd be some games where you thought, all right, I don't know if the Kings have the horses for this game. I think the Suns, and that's why everybody has been so high on the Suns for the last couple of years here. The Suns, on paper, one of those teams where you do look and say, the Kings, I'm not going to say they're overmatched, but you're going to have to play. You're going to have to play well. You can't really have an off game. And if you're going to have an off game, hopefully the Suns have an off game as well, or this thing could get a little bit sticky. All right, time for some NFL Blitz. We will get back into some Kings talk a little bit later in the show, but time for some NFL Blitz. Let's go around the NFL and see what surprised us. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Radio's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with the free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical ball. I'll see you on the dance floor.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
Taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy the height of hospitality, whether you're craving an upscale steakhouse, authentic Chinese hot pot and dim sum, or having a refreshing beverage while watching the game. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Mita Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock after rebates. All of them. Black Friday savings now at MitaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 12/1/24.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sabonis crashes, gets the rebound, feeds it ahead to Keon Ellis. Cruises into the front court now. Working against Tyler the hero, and now gets the Sabonis, drops it between his legs. Keegan stops. He rocks. He fires. And the Kings have taken the lead at 77-76. Keegan Murray, first three-pointer in 4 attempts, puts him at double figures at 12. 77-76. The Kings up by 1.
From the 209, when is the last time the Kings won in Miami? Yeah, 6 years ago. 209, 6 years ago. So yeah, things have changed quite a bit since the Kings last won in Miami. The main thing is that the Kings now have future Hall of Famer DeMar DeRozan wearing the purple. We have Kings that we will get on into, but as we discussed, we are going to get into some NFL talk here. Got top stories of the day coming up as well. All right, Nate, it's time for some NFL Blitz.
Midway presents NFL Blitz.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Willie Cauley-Stein was the leading scorer of that Heat game, too. The last time the Kings beat the Heat, Willie Cauley-Stein, 11 of 17, 26 points, 13 boards. Buddy Hield, 23 points. De'Aaron Fox, 20 points. Nemanja Bjelica, 19.
Was that the Fox dunk game?
I don't believe so. This is October 29th, 2018.
Bjelica. Champion.
It might have been, but I don't think so.
What was his post-game quote? Oh, yeah.
We deserve this.
Yes, that's all he said.
You know what I was thinking too, Chris? How DeMar DeRozan hit that 4-point play. If I'm not mistaken, that 2023, was that the De'Aaron Fox I'm bleeping nice game? Because it was against Chicago.
Magic, right?
He hit the half-court shot against the Magic. The I'm bleeping nice was in Chicago.
There you go. So that prior to that, I'm bleeping nice. DeMar DeRozan hits that 4-point play.
Really? So that actually didn't win them that game. That 4-point play.
No, they lost.
There you go.
They lost. Yeah, because I saw NBA people responding again. This is back in 2023, saying, "Why'd you post this? We lost." Yeah. What a tangle web we weave. All right, Nate. Let's get to some NFL Blitz.
All right, some of these will go quicker than others. We will spend time on the more interesting ones. We talked about this one a bit when it happened. The Jets fly by Houston 21-13. Don't really know what to do with Houston at the moment. This one was more interesting, potentially maybe. The Panthers pounce on New Orleans 23-22.
Yeah, New Orleans, I believe Derek Carr has I think he might have 2 years on that deal. At least one. And
he got another. His head coach fired again.
A new coach. I don't know, Chris. Is it, as far as the contracts are concerned, nobody's going to want to pay Derek Carr that money to sit on the bench. But is there a team that maybe goes after him? I just don't know what the Saints are doing. Or what I know that what they were doing this season was they planned on being good and taking advantage of the NFC South. Derek Carr being indoors, I thought Derek Carr had a shot. It didn't work out. Now what do you do?
I kind of feel like they're screwed. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to want Derek Carr to be their starter. They can try and move on from him and, I don't know, maybe just cut his contract completely and just eat the money. That doesn't really make much sense for them. I guess you just draft a quarterback and hope that that Derek Carr can hold it up at least half the season and then get the rookie in there, or if it's Spencer Rattler, whoever it is. But I think the Derek Carr days are done. I actually felt like if New Orleans had Derek, I think I said in the preview, if New Orleans had Derek Carr, I was taking him, and that didn't matter in this one.
Potential out for Derek Carr at the end of this season. We'll get some more details on that. But not a great situation for the New Orleans Saints. All right, Nate.
Washington elects to take the win over the Giants, 27-22. Not really a surprise there for anyone. Buffalo running past the Dolphins 30-27. You guys got anything on that?
Those are always good games, but I feel like the
Divisional.
Dolphins always lose.
They do, because Chris had a really good stat, right? I think they're 4-14.
2-14.
2-14
Against the Bills?
Against the Bills.
Since
they're now
2018 or something.
2-15.
Yeah. I don't know if well, again, you're just stuck because of the Tua injury. Mike McDaniel just gets a pass, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. Cover those ankles up, Mike.
It's cold.
Chargers bolt through the Browns 27-10. The Chargers still a team I don't think we can lock down either. We just don't know what's going on with them. They got a weird division as well.
Yeah, I know they got to have a Chiefs game coming up soon, and that'll kind of be the barometer. But really I know the Chargers play good defense, really thought the Browns would make this one more interesting, but that was not the case, Chris.
No, the Browns played very much like Jameis Winston football. Last week, they looked incredible. This week, they couldn't get anything going. I feel like the Chargers are one of the more boring teams in the NFL, where it's just not many storylines coming out from there. Their games are pretty run-heavy, and they don't really light it up on the scorebook. I don't really know what to do with the Chargers. I think they're solid, but I kind of feel like they're the team that beats bad teams, but then anytime they face a good team, they don't really stand a chance. So I'm interested to see, when they play the Chiefs, what exactly does that look like? They've played very hardball football here, where it's just, again, no style, really, just all substance, and it's worked for them so far, but I think from an aesthetic standpoint, they leave a lot to be desired.
We have the Titans stomping the Patriots 2017, kind of another nothing game. It'll matter for the first pick overall, but who really cares?
No.
The Falcons snatched the 10-gallon hat in Dallas 27-21. Guys, can we say the Falcons are good now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
Drake London,
relatively
one of the most underrated receivers.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins type team. I think the offense is probably a little bit better than it was in Minnesota, but I don't think anybody is worried about Atlanta going on a deep playoff run. As far as the NFC is concerned, I mean, I guess the NFC is kind of a mess, so it's possible, but I
think they definitely can.
I don't think they're beating the Niners, and I don't think they're beating the Lions.
Okay, it doesn't mean they can't make a deep run, though. They could still win, get into – I mean, deep is, I guess, NFC Championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If they win their division, they get home games – potentially, so
sure.
They definitely get at least one.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is that the NFC is. I didn't even say your Vikings, Chris. I guess the main thing here is how much do you believe in the NFC right now?
Yeah.
Besides the Falcons,
I hate it.
Don't really believe.
I hate it. But the Bengals hold down the Raiders 41-24. Not really much.
No.
To say there either. It's just
Desmond Ridder got
some time.
Can I just say real quick the top four teams in the NFC? If you were to say this 8 years ago, you probably would have been laughed out the room. The Lions, Commanders, Falcons, and Cardinals are the top four NFC seeds.
And not even the teams with the best record.
The Eagles are 6-2, but they don't have the division, so they're technically sixth right now.
Yeah, and then the Vikings should be 5.
They're
right?
5. Yep,
Yeah,
Vikings 5, Eagles 6, Packers 7, Bears 8.
That is crazy. Speaking of the Cardinals and the Eagles, the Cardinals crushed the Bears 29-9. I think that said more about the Bears' offense, in my opinion, because the Cardinals' defense is horrible, but also the Eagles reverse hurdle the Jags 28-23. Anything there, guys?
Eagles are rolling a little bit. I mean, the Jags aren't very good, but they're also not bad enough that you ignore when you beat a team, especially if you beat a team the way the Eagles beat them. I mean, it wasn't a blowout or anything like that, but Eagles seem like they're back to playing their football. I can't wait for Eagles Commanders, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Eagles, they just kind of – it seems like they've at least found their identity, and that identity is run the ball to Saquon or give the ball to Saquon, and then we already know that they like to do their occasional deep ball to one of their receivers. They look good, but I mean, in terms of like how scary they are in the NFC, I still am not convinced that they're really a team that's going to compete against some of the upper echelon, though I guess we just kind of talked about it, and there's not really much of an upper echelon, but – they don't really feel like a team that's going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs right now.
It would really bother me. It would be really tough to be an Eagles fan because I'm seeing this from Ian Rappaport yesterday. A.J. Brown received good news from his MRI today. Sources say no structural issues with his knee, more of a contusion than anything. He could play this week. Feels like A.J. Brown, I mean, he's not injury prone, but he's very close to being injury prone. There's always something going on.
Yeah, it's like a Devo thing.
Yeah.
And they play really similar.
Unfortunately for me, the Rams got it done in OT 26-20. Almost predicted that tie game. That got a little crazy. Then we had the Lions packing the Green Bay Packers 24-14 in just a nasty weather game where I guess the Lions proved that they can play outside.
I think the Packers are done. I think that's what this proved to me.
Aren't
the
they
Packers are done.
6-3?
I just think they're fraudulent. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lions send the Green Bay packing would have been a nice one, Nate. 6-3, yeah. I mean, I think that it's tough when Jordan Love's coming back from his injury, his little MCL. I think
groin.
That's right. Yeah, I think that they still can be a team that makes some noise come playoff time. I'm pretty afraid of them. And yeah, I mean, they really might be the biggest beneficiary of what you're talking about, Alan, where it's just a weaker NFC. I don't think that they don't have the appearance of a team that's stacked with talent or anything like that, but they're a team that I don't think anyone would want to play in the playoffs.
And I'll go through these last two pretty quick here. Vikings prayed over the Colts 21-13.
Whoopee.
Chris, I think we talked about the face mask, right? Yesterday we all got into that, the throwdown. And then the Chiefs literally cannot lose no matter what. It doesn't matter who they play. This team is so annoying. The NFL loves Kansas City 30-24.
Bucks, I mean, they're throwing a Trey Palmer and Sterling Shepard. They tried it, and they had an opportunity. I'll tell you this much, Todd Bowles, I know T for Temple U, I appreciate what you've done for the school out there, Todd Bowles, but how do you not go for two there? How do you not go for two?
Got to.
You knew.
You have to.
You knew once they didn't go for two.
Yeah.
First of all, it's raining. They could have missed the extra point. You knew. He said they didn't go for two because of the weather or something ridiculous like that.
Sounds like a Shanahan special.
You knew once they didn't go for two that Patrick Mahomes was getting that football. Baker
Scared money
knew
don't
it.
make money.
Everybody knew it. You don't have Godwin. You don't have Mike Evans.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even be in this situation.
Always
go for two.
Especially on the road.
You always go for
game.
two on the road, Top Bulls.
Come on.
That's what you get.
Yep.
For being
100%.
scary.
100%.
All right. Let's take a trip around the NFC West. Talk about the Niners, who haven't done anything yet as the trade deadline approaches about 20 minutes away. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for two unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years, where aloha is served daily. Located just steps away from the arena, whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Are you planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await. The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Drives it to the left. Here's the teardrop off the glass. He's got the bucket. Malik Monk puts the Kings on top by 5. They lead it 81-76. Adebayo drives back. His high hook rolls off the rim. It's grabbed by Domas. He shovels ahead to Malik. Monk now wearing those flashy peak Chinese green shoes. Here's to Sabonis. Right back to Monk. Swings to Keegan Murray. Eludes a defender. Euros into the lane. Puts up a two-point attempt. No good. Tips in the miss. And the Kings lead it 83-76.
About 15 minutes till the trade deadline from the 5-3-0. Love the Kings start and the results so far. Starters still playing too many minutes to sustain this, though? Question mark. I think so. I mean, we're at game 7. These guys are these boys putting up 38, 39 minute, 40 minute every single game. That's just not it. Okay. And if it is, and that's what I'm saying, Chris, if this is going to be your bag, then go all in, because you definitely can't don't waste the season playing these dudes 38, 39 minutes to not go all in.
Sure.
I'll put it to you like that and just put a bunch of miles on them, especially a DeMar DeRozan. So there you have it. I saw this, guys, from Coach Yak, who is kind of a content Twitter guy for the Niners. I would say this is one heck of a trade at the trade deadline. 49ers get Christian McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings,
told you
John Feliciano, Jake Moody. 49ers gave up Jack Bleep.
I hate stuff like that. I mean, I'm not even saying it's wrong, I guess, but
wrong.
It's just not really exactly how it works. And I guess that's, you may be trying to cope and make yourself feel better about it. But no, I mean, that's just not how it works. The Niners are not getting Christian McCaffrey at the trade deadline. Like, yes, technically, I guess they are, but no, that shouldn't make you feel like the Niners actually were justified in doing nothing at the deadline. I think that there was definitely some spots where you could have said the Niners could have done just a little bit of adjusting, and maybe the price was a bit too much in some of those positions, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit jaded or view it a little bit differently just because the Vikings are a team that has been very, very active at the deadline. Like, they had Christian Darrisaw go down with a season-ending injury, and then 2 days later, the GM doesn't waste time and trades for Cam Robinson to get another starting left tackle in there. Obviously, last year, the Vikings make a move for Josh Dobbs after having a bit of a quarterback emergency with Kirk Cousins tearing his Achilles. So, again, maybe I have a different perspective on things, but I just feel like the lack of moves at the deadline. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm also kind of maybe changing my tune for the NBA standpoint. I just kind of think that not doing anything when there is a clear need to do something, I just kind of don't think that it's the right move. I think that you can do things. It's just a lot of the times teams are afraid to do it for any sort of ramifications. And I think the Niners shouldn't waste time here in their Super Bowl window not making moves. Like you said, I mean, with the Kings, go all in. If you're going to be all in, go all in. And there's no reason for the Niners to not be all in as we talk about how weak the NFC looks in general.
Yeah, looking here at some of the moves and some of the moves that a lot of people thought should be made. Brian Baldinger said that the the Niners should take a swing at Jadeveon Clowney, who has played better. He's just in Carolina, so nobody cares. But this is what Brian Baldinger had to say. If I was John Lynch, I would pick up the phone and call Dan Morgan in Carolina, just see what it would take to get Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney is better than Chase Young. He plays the game harder. He's an elite athlete. He just brings juice to your team. He's not a great pass rusher. Chase wasn't either, but he brings a ton of energy. He was incredible. He has incredible length. He's excellent against the run. And when you get into space and you need athletes to close space up to chase people down, like he can still run and chase with the best of them, close quote. So, yeah, I mean, they got to be doing something. They have to do something. It doesn't look like they're going to do something. And a lot of people are saying, hey, not really sure why the Niners wouldn't do anything. We've seen this before, Chris. We can joke about the Niners get all this and give up nothing, but this is what they will sell. They will sell. Look, this is who we got back.
Right.
And we didn't have to give up anybody. Is it a cop-out? Probably, but it's also not wrong. I just think any team could do it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I wonder, I should say, how much of last year, the activity of last year really created the inactivity of this year. I mean, they end up trading for Randy Gregory last year. They trade for Chase Young last year. And I wouldn't say that either of those two trades really made much of a positive impact on this team. Now, it was nice for depth reasons throughout the season, but ultimately when push came to shove, Chase Young wasn't giving nearly enough effort. And I don't even think Randy Gregory was on the field at the end of the season. So maybe part of it is that they felt like, hey, we really tried to be hyper aggressive last year in addressing needs, and it really didn't lead to anything. Maybe this year we're a little bit more conservative and really only make a deal unless it makes a ton of sense for us. That would be my thought process of why maybe they're inactive, because again, it feels like even if it was depth at offensive line, even if it was depth at wide receiver, and I feel like part of the reason is because they liked what they saw from Ricky Pearsall, but I just feel like, maybe even depth at running back, as Jordan Mason is kind of found himself on the injury report here and there. It just kind of feels like they could have addressed anything, and I don't know, addressing nothing when your season hasn't gone nearly as planned. It's a bold strategy. That's all I'll say. Now, maybe Coach Yak will be right, and all of those injury additions will feel like you made moves at the deadline, but I still feel like this team could use a little bit more juice than a Christian McCaffrey provides.
I think another part of this too is it is interesting. If you look at the bottom feeders in the league, there are definitely teams that they think they're better than they are, right? They think, hey, they think they're better than what their record says, and they don't want to do any business because they feel like they're closer than what the objects in mirror are closer than they appear. The Dolphins are 2-6, but that's not a real 2-6. The Patriots, they should be making moves. I'll tell you that much right now. The Raiders,
they should be making moves out.
Out. The Raiders, completely delusional.
Get out.
Okay. The Browns, tough spot, I would say. They should be sellers. Tough spot for them. Then you have the Jags, 2-7. They should be selling. The Titans, they should be selling. So you have that in the AFC. Then in the NFC, the Giants, New York Giants, delusional. The NFC West, nobody is that bad. NFC North, that's just a really good division. And then you have the NFC South, who the Panthers and Saints, they have done deals. So they're all real. But I do think there's a level of this where it's, hey, we know our record says we should be making moves, but we're actually better than what our record says it is.
It's a very, very dangerous mindset to get in. And, I think that if I were an NFL team, I would definitely operate that way where, if we're 2-7 and there's no reason for us to really, I talked about it with the Raiders last year. Like, to me, I don't think the move this year is to necessarily, like, you're not going to ship off Max Crosby. Maybe you should consider it. Maybe that's something that should have been brought up more. But I think with how the season went this year, you want to keep as much stability and any sort of good feeling going into next year that you can. So I understand that. But we talked about it last year when it came to Devontae Adams. What is the point of holding on to that asset? Because he's not winning you a Super Bowl. He's not winning you games even in the next season. You might as well try and recoup something from it. And that's why, I will say, as we say, Coop, I do think the Browns were right to let go of Amari Cooper for what they got him for. I don't know if the Patriots feel like they have anything that they can give up, but a team like the Dolphins absolutely should maybe look at, okay, this quarterback situation with Tua is a little bit more shaky than what we maybe previously thought. interesting to me that they still are doing the Tyreek Hill, the Mostert, all of those guys. The fact that they're still there, I think is just interesting. Again, I don't know if they were supposed to necessarily give up on the season because of Tua's health, but 2-6 in that division, I just don't know if I feel like the Dolphins are doing the right thing for their future, because I don't really know if they know what their future holds.
Well, the whole thing was, we want Tua to play, and Tua saying, I'm going to keep playing. But there's questions on Tua.
Huge.
And they paid Jalen Waddle that money.
Yep.
And Jalen Waddle, we went back and forth about Jalen Waddle and Brandon Ayuk. That dude is on the ground every play.
All the time.
I'm not saying he actually leaves the game, but just
he'll step out.
Very similar to
Anthony
Brown.
Richardson himself.
Yeah.
Let
me get on out of here. I think I saw when I was, because it was towards the end of all the games, so some of the games had already kind of been over with. But Jalen Waddle, I think he got his first catch last game in the end of the fourth quarter.
No, I don't like that.
So I'm not really sure what the Dolphins are trying to do here. Who worries you the most in the NFC if you're the Niners? I think there's only one option.
Well, I mean, the Lions for sure. The Lions definitely should.
Excuse me, NFC West.
I think the Rams. I mean, personally, I think it's the Rams.
I think that's the only answer.
Again, I can't quit them. I think that the Rams really, especially with how they're trending right now, I think their offense is legit. They've already beaten the Niners. Even when they were bad, they were able to kind of give the Niners a really tough test, and then again, ultimately beat them. They would be the one team that I would legitimately, if I'm the Niners and we face in the playoffs, that would be the only NFC West team that I would legitimately have any sort of trepidation about. Even then, the Niners should be favored, but the Rams have just been a thorn in the side.
Yeah, I can't believe. I want to believe in Kyler, I really do, but
yeah.
I can't believe in Kyler. I'm going to keep saying it. How do you look? It's getting to that time of the end of the year, that time of the season. How do you look at the end of November? How do you look in December? I can't say the Cardinals, dude. I just can't.
I can't
and the
either.
Seahawks,
and you know how I feel about them. I can't.
And the Seahawks, the most fraudulent team. I actually just saw a report.
Weird, man.
I saw a report from Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
Despite some of the reports, DK Metcalf will not be moved.
Okay.
I was a little bit surprised that was even being talked about.
Yeah, why is that even in the news sphere?
They're another team that have no clue what they're doing.
Clearly not. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what their identity is either. Obviously, like, they had the Legion of Boom, they had Marshawn, so they were a very physical run-first team, and yeah, Russ could make some plays for him, but like, I mean, it feels like they have leaned into more of an air raid offense with Geno, just for better or worse, just laying it out there, but I don't really think that that's what they're best at. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, to me, they've lost that physical edge, and I don't know which side of the ball they really dominate on. It feels like they're just good to average on both sides of the ball, and I don't think that gets you anywhere in the NFL.
Top stories at the top of the hour when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
David Dusek writes in Golf Week that according to FootJoy, about 65% of golfers wear the wrong size golf gloves. A properly fit and maintained golf glove will help you stay connected to the club without extra tension, which can mean more speed. Snug is the name of the game. A perfect glove should fit like a second skin, wrapping tightly around your palm and fingers. If the glove is too loose, the extra material can bunch up and lead to a bad connection between your hands and the grip. The fingers of the glove should extend just to the tips of your fingers. If there's too much space at the end of your fingers, try a cadet version of the glove made for golfers who have shorter fingers and wider palms. The Velcro closure should only require a slight pull to secure. If you're stretching the strap significantly, the glove is too small. Natural leather offers superior feel and touch. Synthetic leather gloves tend to cost less and probably last longer. After your round, air out your glove to maintain softness and flexibility. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The holidays can be tough for some, especially if things from your past are still following you around to this day. Now, don't be afraid of your past this upcoming holiday season, as an expungement can help. And that's where the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez comes in, as he's local and has a great track record. Now that expungement can help you get a job, get your life back in order, and you'll also get your constitutional rights back. He's offering discounts on expungements now through Christmas. Call 916-304-9187. That's 916-304-9187.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
The garage won't open again.
We're all out of coffee.
Life has enough surprises. Your car shouldn't be one of them. Stockton Honda keeps your car worry-free. From routine maintenance to that something's not right moment, our certified Honda experts know how to fix it right the first time.
Here you go, ma'am. You're all set.
Thank you.
Stockton Honda Service Department, keeping you ready for the road ahead.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
How will the Kings play this? It'll be Monk who will put the ball in play from the near sideline in the front court. Keegan Murray, right elbow extended. Sabonis, top of the three-point circle. Fox, left angle, three-point range, and out on top inside the logo is DeRozan. Here we go. Inbounds pass goes to De'Aaron Fox. Working on the rookie Larson. Drives, spins, fires. Heel to the rim, no good. Scramble, rebound, Sabonis. Put back, score it! 0.7 of a second to go. He had a desperation putback in Toronto that resulted in the Kings getting to overtime. And this time he may have just won the game.
Great stuff there from G-Man, as always. And it is time, guys, to go around. I'm really excited for this first note that we have from Top Stories at the top of the hour. So let's get right into it. 1 o'clock. Well, and the biggest top story before we get going here, Vice President Kamala Harris taking on former President Donald Trump tonight. If you haven't voted yet, make sure you do so. It's going to be quite the night.
Really sounded like you were previewing a football game or something.
Well, I mean,
in the swamp.
In the swamp, the swamp of the polls. There we have it. A lot of crazy storylines, from bomb threats to broken poll machines. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, all eyes are going to be on all of the news networks today. Chris, there was somebody, the news coverage and how that whole thing goes. Somebody was saying it's very much like the NFL red zone, and how they're just bouncing around to every state. So that will be something, and we are obviously going to keep an eye on it. But everybody go out there, use that voice for as long as you can. But that wasn't the part that I was really excited about. I'm really excited about this second part, Chris, as the college football playoff. Not only is there the election, the college football playoff will reveal its first rankings of the expanded 12-team bracket era tonight, and chaos could be on the horizon. This is from Front Office Sports. I just want to see what it looks like, Chris. I mean, the whole point, it took a while to get here. You had the BCS. BCS
Man.
only 2 teams. Then you said, everybody, we need the playoff. The playoff actually worked, in my opinion. You got some TCUs in there, some teams that never, ever would have gotten into the BCS. And now you're expanding to 12. I think it's going to be a huge moneymaker for college. And I think the urgency is one thing, but they took the urgency too far.
Yes.
Where it was, okay, Alabama lost. I don't need to watch them anymore.
Yes,
and
exactly.
now they're making more money
for sure
because Alabama, Tennessee, who have both lost games, is still a game to watch because they're both in the playoff.
And even if one of those loses, when one of them loses that game, even that's not a death sentence either.
Again,
You know?
so
Yeah.
I think they really shot themselves in the foot for all these years.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it because it was so important. But those seasons where, okay, well, Alabama lost and Auburn lost and whoever it is lost, it's over. Texas lost, Oklahoma lost. It's over.
Yeah.
And
then you had to get into this weight system of, okay, undefeated TCU in the Big 12 versus 1 or 2 loss
In the
Alabama,
SEC.
who only lost by a field goal to Auburn, and then a game winner to Georgia. And it's like, no, you know what? Let's just let them all in and let's figure it out the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, so I am really, really excited about that. And maybe Sac State in a couple years will be in the college football playoff. This is one of the more unique stories I've ever heard, guys. Okay, so Connor McGovern.
Okay.
This guy, he plays for the Broncos.
Okay.
All right. And Connor McGovern, this is from Front Office Sports. Weeks before his life changed, Connor McGovern sat at a dinner table at his family's lake house near South Dakota-Minnesota border. His family gathered around him, along with a college teammate, Clay Rose, who couldn't believe what he was hearing. 2016 draft was weeks away. McGovern, who was then a standout offensive lineman at Missouri, was expected to be taken in the later rounds.
Okay.
This is what his grandfather said. You realize that you're walking away from more money in the family business in comparison to go to the NFL. Rhodes recalled McGovern's grandfather, Ron Offutt, saying, Rhodes thought Offutt might have misunderstood his grandson's draft projection. McGovern was in a position to earn millions of dollars over his first contract. But as the conversation continued, Rhodes realized that Offutt's appraisal was valid. My jaw kind of dropped, Rhodes tells Front Office Sports. I'm like, this guy's serious. There are only so many family businesses lucrative enough to make an athlete consider passing on going pro. McGovern's is one of them. Offutt, a fourth-generation farmer known as the Sultan of Spuds, has grown his company into the country's largest commercial potato producer and its primary provider of the ones used in McDonald's French fries. R.D. Offutt operates out of multiple states, and the family is the richest in North Dakota, worth more than $500 million.
You might be rich, but are you potato North Dakota rich?
McGovern, meanwhile, is a New Orleans Saints center in his 8th season in the NFL and has sustained multiple injuries, playing in just 12 games over the past year and a half.
What are you doing, dog?
Often teammates ask him the same question.
Yeah, call it.
Why are you doing
What are you doing? No.
$500 million for the McDonald's potatoes, Chris. That's crazy.
It's nuts. I'm also reading it here. Let's see here. It has since expanded to be the potato supplier for Wendy's, Raising Cane's, Frito-Lay's, and the Idahoan instant mashed potatoes. So there you go. There you go.
You got to do
Not
it.
just McDonald's. Yeah, I don't know why homeboys
You got
play
to do it.
You know, if anything.
You've already played 8 seasons
Brock
now.
Purdy
Leave.
probably looks up to this guy. He's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, you
Right.
own, you're Mr. McGovern?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Speaking of Brock Purdy and the 49ers, can we talk about this real quick?
Sure.
There's a weird tweet. Cam Inman,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me. It's fitting. He sent out a tweet saying the Niners did make a trade, but it's very confusing. It says league sources confirms 49ers defensive tackle Kalia Davis indeed heading to Texans. Kalia Davis is already on the Niners. He was retweeting Diana Rossini, who said the Texans are trading DT Khalil Davis to the 49ers in exchange for a 2026 7th-round pick. So there's some confusion on what's happened here because these are two different guys. And I think we're still getting to the bottom of it. We'll have it figured out by the next segment.
Can you spell that out one more time? So there is a player on the Niners that has a
Davis.
Kalia.
Yes.
That they're saying is going to the Texans.
But there is a Khalil Davis on the Texans.
Yes.
And it's unclear if Kalia is getting sent to the Texans or if Khalil is getting sent to the Niners.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, a lot of confusion.
Gotcha.
But
I am seeing a lot of Khalil to the Niners. I see Ian
it's all
Rappaport
coming out
right
now.
at the
yes,
buzzer.
Khalil to the Niners is
Ian
what matters
Rappaport.
for a 26th, 7th round pick. Could be the next Brock Purdy. Who knows?
Yeah, right at the Ian Rappaport. Right at the buzzer, the Texans traded backup DT Khalil Davis to the 49ers. Some depth for SF.
Sorry, that was a little confusing. I'm still trying to unpack it all back here too, but it is a messy situation. But the Niners did do something.
I think it's just from what I'm reading, it looks like Cam Inman just
read it wrong.
Yeah, and it's also
very
written
understandable if it's true.
Written wrong.
Okay, yeah, I see. So now the Niners have a Kalia Davis and a Khalil Davis.
Yes, because Inman's tweet says league source confirms 49ers DT Kalia Davis indeed heading to Texans.
Well, what do you do with that? Because then
it sounds like he's leaving.
Right. No. But what's the problem there is that he's saying league sources confirm, which implies that he asked somebody if that's true, which is just makes me wonder, did he ever actually ask anybody? I'm not trying to be messy, but if you're saying league source confirms, that makes it sound like you asked, okay, so it's Kalia Davis that's getting traded and somebody told you yes. So I just feel like that's a little strange, but that's neither here.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So the Niners didn't do nothing.
They did something to get a depth piece.
Somewhere they needed it bad.
There you go.
Hargrave out for the season. People forget he's even on the team.
Guys, you know we love these stories as basketball kicks off. And actually, if you are fiending for sports, I read this earlier, no NBA, but college basketball is playing tonight. So
great.
Are you college fans out there? Not even if you're a college fan, if you're just fiending for something, you do Prop Talk College.
Yeah, let's do
basketball this early.
In the shakes.
Call the number. South Carolina paid North Florida $95,000 to come play their season opener in Columbia last night. North Florida won their first win. Their first win over. It's always the best.
It's worst for
North Florida won their first win over an SEC program in school history.
My God.
And that just goes to show
Get
the
the
difference
bag.
in money, though. Again, $95,000 for North Florida. When it comes to football, we're talking $5 million.
Yeah,
it's just
sacrificial.
It is just a different world out there. Denver Nuggets forward Aaron Gordon will miss multiple weeks because you just can't get. What, is there a calf strain epidemic going on? Are calves as strong as they used to be back in my day?
Cleveland Cavs have taken all the calf power.
Yeah. What is going on? Denver Nuggets forward Aaron Gordon will miss multiple weeks because of a right calf strain. Gordon has shot 55% on three-pointers this season, which ranks in the top 10 among players with at least 20 attempts. The Nuggets have also been without starting point guard Jamal Murray for the last 2 games, and he is in the NBA's concussion protocol. It's not good. Not good, but, I mean, it's I don't want to say it's good, but this does kind of bode well towards what we were saying, Chris. It just feels like the Nuggets aren't going to have the horses. I think we're looking at a 5 seed. Maybe they stay 4 seed. Yeah, Jokic has
all the horses.
All the horses there. Any clarity there, Nate? I think
I believe it's Khalil Davis going to the Niners.
I'm pretty sure that's what.
That's the only thing I've seen.
I'll just make sure everything's in check, and we'll get it. Our next segment, we're going to take a look at the trade deadline as a whole. So
Right. There you
should
go.
have it finalized by then, hopefully.
Trade deadline officially over. Winners and losers. When we return, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Throw it right back over to Nate. Trade deadline officially over. Now we focus on the winners and losers. People do not waste time, Chris. I mean, as soon as it ends, I think they probably had this fired up Bleacher Report and, just saying who made the biggest moves and who won, who lost. And I don't think the Niners, even though they made a move, they might end up on the loser still. I don't know how much this changes things, but going to hand it over to you, Nate. Okay. What you got?
So just to finalize this trade, just so we're all on the same track here and there's not confusion, the Texans are sending defensive tackle Khalil Davis to the 49ers in exchange for a 2026 7th-round pick. Khalil was on the Birmingham, Alabama, some UFL team too, just I think in 2022 or 23. So he's kind of bounced around a lot. I think he's been on almost double digit teams. So he's definitely just a depth guy, just someone the Niners can when someone's got an Anthony Richardson tap out, throw him in there after the quarterback. We'll see what he can do. Maybe he thinks this team has a chance to win the Super Bowl and gets excited, but nothing crazy, but no one should expect the Niners to do anything crazy at the deadline. They haven't really in a while. Chase Young was the biggest one in that. Well, CMC. I was
going to say.
So, yeah, CMC was nuts. So forget anything I said. It's not true. But the one that really got me happened extremely early this morning, or at least broke really early this morning, was Zadarius Smith to the Lions. Cleveland, they also Cleveland sends a 7th with Zadarius Smith and gets back a 5th from the Lions. I really wanted Zadarius Smith again as a depth piece on the Niners. It just didn't happen. Chris, do you have some insight on Zadarius? I know we talked briefly about him, but you know, he spent a lot of time in the NFC North, and he's going back to the NFC North to play on the 3rd team, I believe, right?
Yep. He's just missing the Bears to complete the Infinity Gauntlet. But, Zadarius is a really good pass rusher. Is really just a head down kind of guy and get to the quarterback. Doesn't really bring much in the run game, but he is an absolute freak of an athlete. And really, he's really going to be the Hutchinson replacement in the passing game. But I don't know if there's anybody who can fully replace what Aiden Hutchinson brings to that defense, but it's definitely a really good patch just in terms of their defense, at least hopefully getting some pressure at the quarterback this year. But he is a little bit long in the tooth too. Zadarius has been around the NFL for a while.
Well, they've been filling that hole pretty well in Detroit. So this is a guy that's just part of the rotation. I'm sure he'll probably play like 70% of the snaps, 75 maybe. So not all of them, but a large chunk because he has that talent. But the Commanders, they really are just trying to make a run here. And I'd like to apologize to the Commanders. I've been doubting the Commanders, and here they are. They've lost 2 games. They're at the top of their division. It's insane. But they get Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. They send a 3rd, 4th, and 6th. The Commanders. They get back a 5th with Marshawn Lattimore. Pretty good trade for the Commanders. Marshawn's been around for a while. He's been a top tier talent and more in the beginning of his career. Definitely still has that talent. It's hard when your pass rush isn't very good, but you guys got any insight on any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to try to make as many moves as you can. And I thought that the Commanders, it's funny because remember we played that Mina Kimes sound earlier before the season might have even started, when everybody was so high on Jaden Daniels, and the whole conversation was, hey, if the Commanders do well, they might be in the conversation for Devontae Adams or somebody to try to make that next step. But the offense has looked so good, I guess they decided we don't need to overpay for an offensive guy like that. Let's just get our defense right, because, looking at who the Commanders have played, they've been in relative shootout type games. So just trying to shore up that defense as quickly as they can. Real quick, Nate, I had this back on the Zadarius Smith move for the Lions. Pass rushing productivity ranks, obviously Aiden Hutchinson number 1, Zadarius Smith number 22. So
yeah,
for comparison, Leonard Floyd is number 24. So they're just trying to get a little bit better, but I would imagine the Lions are just trying to do it by committee at this point.
Well, also you got to think that Cleveland defense, this is kind of one of my key stats to any game, is just that defense is on the field so much more than their offense was, especially with Deshaun Watson in there. So it's hard to, first of all, you have a bigger sample size, and you're being gassed. You're gassed all the time from rushing the quarterback every play, and you're on the field for the most part of the game. So it's really difficult to kind of get your win back underneath you. But this next one, this guy, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to front. The Cowboys get Jonathan Mingo from the Panthers. I didn't know who that was. I didn't know who John. He's down the depth chart on or was on the Panthers. Dallas is sending a 4th to get back Mingo and a 7th. This is, I'm sure if you're a Cowboys fan, you are not happy about this.
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Even getting back a 7th. Jonathan Mingo, I just know of him because I just think he's got a cool name. But yeah,
he does.
I mean, if you're that deep on the Panthers depth chart, that's a problem to me. I mean, I know you got Bryce Young, but we're not talking about the Niners depth chart here.
It's his second year in the league too.
Yeah, and maybe the Niners just because I'm thinking of some of the Niners guys, right? Would not that Dallas or the Niners would have done business with the Niners, but you look at some of the other depth pieces throughout the league. There's just so many wide receivers, like you said, young guy, second year in the league. We'll see how it turns out for him, but yeah, I guess you had to do something if you're Jerry.
Chris, before, if you wanted to say anything on this one, I do have a very interesting tweet from one RJ Ochoa. He says, this will shock no one, but the Dallas Cowboys spent more to acquire Jonathan Mingo than they got in exchange for Amari Cooper.
It's insane.
That's
just malpractice.
Very
It's
sad.
just malpractice.
Yeah, not to mention what they gave up for Trey Lance too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't really have much on the Cowboys front. I mean, I think they felt like they had to do something. Maybe that this is more of like a second draft kind of thing where it's not worth a 4th round pick, but maybe in the draft process they really liked Mingo and were just feel like, that Carolina situation really isn't a fair one to try and judge any sort of pass catcher in, with just because of how poor that passing game has been since he got there. So I don't love it. I think 4th round is just insanely high for a player who really hasn't produced at all. But we've been talking about all season the Cowboys really are CeeDee Lamb deep in that passing game, and if it works out, I mean, he's a 6'2", 220 receiver. From a physical standpoint, it definitely is a guy that is intriguing, but the stats just are not there to back it at all.
So I got 2 Steelers moves for you guys here. We have the Jets trading Mike Williams to the Steelers for a 5th rounder. Mike Williams all season, it felt like, trade rumors around this guy. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, has trashed him at least once or twice.
He spoke on it on Pat McAfee, and he basically said, Mike Williams is a guy who's good. He stays to himself, but a change of scenery can be good for some guys. Look what it did for me. That's literally what he said.
It's going real great for you, Aaron. And then the Packers are also sending Preston Smith, longtime Packer, kind of one of the Smith brothers there, to the Steelers for a 7th rounder. I think these are good moves by the Steelers. These are both they've obviously needed receivers for a while. They were heavily linked with the Ayuk trade that didn't happen. Mike Williams, I think, could be a wide receiver too for them. Russell Wilson, as much as I hate to say it, has looked pretty awesome for the Steelers, but the Steelers always hang around. Those two do anything for you guys?
I really like it. I mean, I think Mike Williams is a quality receiver. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy throughout his career. And Like you said, the Steelers have been looking for a receiver, and with the way that Russell Wilson's passed it so far, as crazy as it is to say, I think Mike Williams really might make a really good receiver out there. And then Preston Smith, like you said, has been a staple for that Packers defense for so long. I'm really surprised that they're willing to move off of him for just a 7th-round pick. I think that's a great pickup for the Steelers on the other side of TJ Watt.
Yeah, I guess prior to that move, they already have Mike Williams on the Steelers depth chart on ESPN, but you have George Pickens, Mike Williams, and Van Jefferson. So I guess it was Calvin Austin the third as that third
who
starting
exactly.
I thought it was Tavon Austin's
which
son.
would have actually been maybe better from my reaction standpoint. Like I think Tavon, I would have been like, oh, that's exciting.
With this trade, I have to say, I think Mike Tomlin really needs to be in consideration for Coach of the Year. His odds are plus 800 right now. He's like 7th behind guys like Dan Campbell. I thought he'd be a lot. He's right next to Dan Campbell. Dan Quinn is number 1 right now with I almost said Atlanta. He is in Atlanta. Yeah, right?
No, Commanders.
Excuse me. He was.
Yeah.
So they lost the Super Bowl with Shanahan. But Tomlin, I know it's kind of the fatigue thing with the MVP. Man, the way he's got this team going, switching quarterbacks the way he did, I think he needs more props. Last one here, not good for me. Rams are sending Tre'Davious White and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Ravens. That actually is good for me. I misread that. For that 7th-round pick, just kind of a death piece for the Ravens there. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, Ravens, they've been in one too many shootouts, and they're just trying to shore up some things. I'm really excited for this AFC, Chris, and at least for the NFC, the Niners have a shout. There's some new teams that are going to be in the mix, like your Vikings and the Commanders.
Not the Vikings, just not the Vikings.
We'll see. I know what you're doing. I know you're reverse.
I'm not.
Psychology.
I'm just not.
I understand.
I'm starting to believe him. I thought he was too, but I'm starting to believe him because after he pointed out some stuff, started to watch Sam Darnold a little closer, and obviously I'm not trying to take a shot or anything, but like it's Darnold's not been very good.
Yeah.
He makes some great throws, but it's nothing crazy. And I was gonna say shot the whole time. I wasn't gonna say anything else. I really was.
Anyway,
we take a trip somewhere else when we return. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Tesla, keeping it real tour.
Right now.
Saturday, November 9th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tesla, live. The multi-platinum rock band returns with special guest, Fuel. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Tesla, keeping it real tour.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The next election is November 5th. Vote centers open October 26th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.sackcounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare. With Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow, you can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
$30 more minutes with you. Chris, just getting word here.
Okay.
That does look like Joel Embiid. This is from Michael KB, who has been on these airwaves 76ers coverage for 97.3 ESPN. Joel Embiid is expected to be suspended for his involvement in the locker room altercation after the game against Memphis, per a league source. Length of potential suspension not yet known. Fair or foul, Joel Embiid getting suspended?
I think it's fair. I mean, you know, even though we definitely know the circumstances behind why Joel Embiid decided to get physical with that reporter, it doesn't change the fact that, you know, by the letter of the law, it crossed the line, and you just, you know, it kind of doesn't really matter what the specifics are. You just can't have any sort of those kind of altercations happening in the locker room. And frankly, it shouldn't be a one-way street. It should definitely be a two-way street. I don't know. I haven't heard what's happened with the Philadelphia reporter who wrote that story, but you know, especially in media, being media members, I'm not going to be in the business of saying, you know, gatekeeping who should and shouldn't be in the locker room. But with a situation like that, I think it's very fair to start to consider maybe taking away some locker room privileges, or at least restricting some sort of access to somebody who's going to write something that really, again, didn't really have to do with what the sport topic at hand was. He just kind of threw an unnecessary cheap blow, and I think it's unfair if Joel Embiid gets punished, and then on the other side, Yeah, maybe his employer punished him a little bit, but I think the Sixers should also be able to punish him for putting, frankly, their franchise piece in a situation where he kind of was forced to take the high road or do what he ended up doing there.
Yeah, there were a couple different weird situations this weekend. You had that situation with Joel Embiid, and then you had Jason Kelce and the phone situation where the dude comes up on
crazy.
Jason Kelce and says some words about Jason Kelce's brother, Travis Kelce. Then Jason Kelce slams the phone and says some words back to the person, and Jason Kelce apologized.
That's crazy,
yesterday on Monday Night Football. Now, there were a lot of conversations about the words that were being thrown around and what was said. We're not going to get into all that, but people are really
Shouldn't
out
be
here.
Much of a conversation.
Yeah, people are really out here bleeping around and finding out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the keyboard warrior kind of mentality for sure. These people who think that they can just kind of go unchecked and say whatever they want and think that there's not going to be consequences to it. I'm just glad that at least in these two examples, both of these two people seem to have got what they deserved, and it didn't require anybody stepping outside of any crazy boundary. Nobody really got hurt. A phone got smashed, and maybe somebody's shirt got some wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I mean, I definitely think this weekend was definitely like you said, very, very active in that kind of front. And I don't really know if we are any closer to being a better society, like where these things happen less and less. It feels like, again, with everyone's nature of feeling really protected behind the keyboard or behind the screen. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm surprised that it honestly doesn't happen more, but I am also glad that we can live in a society where people see both sides of it. It's not just, man, like Jason Kelce, like, come on, man, you're out in the public. What do you expect? Like, you're going to crash somebody's phone? Like, I'm glad that we can understand nuance still and understand that, yeah, like, dude got his phone broken, but he's lucky it wasn't his face broken.
Well, there's stories out there if certain celebrities and athletes that are known to have hotheads, people that do have a real job and just want more money, people will target them at bars, target them at clubs.
That's why they don't go out, man. It's why you don't see pictures of, there's an infamous picture of like Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki partying at a club. And it's like, you're not going to go to Tiger and you're not going to see, De'Aaron Fox partying in there. You might see some G League guys or something like that. But like these guys who actually have something to lose and have like a lot of notoriety behind them, there's no use for them being in public, because really the only thing that's going to happen is someone's going to try and get famous or have their 5 minutes of fame off of messing with them.
Right. It's oh, well, he broke my phone, I'm going to sue you. Right. And now it's not even that. It's, hey, now I'm going to go viral. And that's why a lot of people, and we went back and forth, not back and forth, but we were really upset about the Yankee fan situation.
Oh, man, yeah.
I look back, man, and I know Barstool clearly doesn't care about anything, but it did seem like, they care about something. It did seem like a lot of people, most people were not fans of Barstool giving them the time of day. It started with ESPN because ESPN did an article.
Yes. Yep.
Then the fans got asked to come in.
Like a live from the bar after.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like a post-game press conference essentially at a bar after.
Exactly. So there was that article. Then the guys go in and do a Barstool podcast.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they did.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and a lot of people, there was some, I think, honestly, mostly Yankee fans saying, cry me a river, but there are a lot of people that just weren't fans of that. So there is, especially on an election Tuesday, there is some hope out there for people just not always taking the side of these idiots that just want their 5 minutes of fame, because that dude, that rolled up on Jason Kelce probably does not have any feelings towards Travis Kelce. He saw a paycheck.
Yep.
He saw a payday, and
he saw clicks.
He might still get it.
He was like, oh, I'm going to get a ton of likes on this, or people are going to think this is hilarious on my Instagram.
Either way, he might still get it. Jason Kelce might have to just cash him out, whatever, just to make it go away. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. Yeah, that's the worst kind of champagne problems right there. I have no idea, but you would assume that homeboy's going to try and get something out of it, but rightfully so. If I'm Jason Kelce and it says I have to buy him a new phone, I'm getting him the oldest iPhone I can find.
Yeah, I did see something. It said Jason Kelce has more fame than he ever had as a player.
That's
he
true,
needs to realize that, and he needs security. That's what they said. They said he needs security.
Sure.
It looked like there were a good amount of people with him, but when
Yeah.
you're as big as he is, I am the security.
Yeah, I mean, that's also like, as we say, we're not going to, that's like a bit of a political question too, is like, should homeboy feel like why does Jason Kelce need security?
Yeah.
He's, like you said, he's an offensive lineman. He's just I'm pretty sure he was at a college football game, if I'm not mistaken. Like, why we shouldn't need to be in a society where homeboy Jason Kelce, who's an offensive lineman who pushed other grown men for a living, where he has to be in public and have security walking around with him not because of Jason Kelce, but because of other people stupid. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I just mean like that's not great. Like that's not a great sign of where we're at here.
The NBA has suspended Philadelphia 76ers Joel Embiid for 3 games for altercation, shoving a columnist in a post-game locker room this season. And this is why the big three thing there's always something. It's these older big threes that is just not working out. Maybe they get hot, the Sixers do. The problem is you still got to worry about Joel Embiid's health. I'm not saying it's completely cooked yet, but it is a bit random here. All right, we wanted to have some fun, and Lord knows we were not going to do this with Whitey. But real quick, Chris, here are some of the props that you can bet on tonight if you don't feel like calling the number quite yet. Obviously, the U.S. presidential election winner, Donald Trump Sr., currently a favorite by -165 over Kamala Harris at +135. Could probably find some good value there with Kamala. The winning party, obviously, that's connected to that. Then you can get into the popular vote winner.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's
you got Kamala at so they have Kamala at -390 for the popular vote. Right. But so she's a favorite for the popular vote, but they have Donald as a favorite to
Donald's
win.
never won the popular vote.
Michelle Obama at +30,000.
Are you serious?
And
that's like on an actual.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Robert F. Kennedy at +30,000 and other at +30,000.
Now, we always say, like, if you're betting on the Kings to win the NBA championship, you might as well set your money on fire.
Right.
You might as well, actually set your dollars on fire.
You might as well.
What is the point of even having that?
You can bet by percentages. Trump to
I guess
win
that's
by
deep state type stuff.
Yeah, Trump to win by 7% or more will give you +4,000.
People are crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can really break this.
Yeah, I'm like, you could break it down by percentage wins.
You can bet by county. You can bet
by
Trump
county,
or county
not
to
even
win
by
Bucks
state?
County, Pennsylvania.
Okay. At least it's like bigger. Okay.
You can bet the closest state in the presidential election.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
There's a lot
like
of
the closest rate, like which ends up being like a 49.50. That's
what I'm saying. There's no sports today besides a little bit of college. You can get the wings, pizza, we can come on over. Yeah. Do a tailgate. You can do it all. You can do it all. All right. We'll ask Whitey who he's voting for on the other side. Stiles Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Black Friday is on its way at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Low price Makita Bear tools starting at $89, Makita batteries starting at just $49, and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 25th through December 2nd. That's right, one whole week of crazy deals on power tools. So don't forget, our Black Friday sale will be November 25th through December 2nd. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at FastenersInc.net. Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and, of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with a free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical ball. I'll see you on the dance floor.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
All right, Whitey. Blue or red? I'm talking about your favorite color.
What am I wearing today,
color.
Blue, blue, blue.
Yeah.
Everything blue.
That is actually my favorite color.
Really?
Dark blue in particular.
So that's navy blue.
Navy's
a royal blue.
Well, then there's midnight blue. That's too dark. Yeah, I don't like royal blue. That's too close to Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Navy blue. What about you, Whitey?
That's a mean thing to say. I think that.
Yes, yeah, this is definitely a Dodger blue, but
I don't dislike it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Now,
I don't dislike it. I just said my favorite color.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whitey, what's yours?
Favorite color?
Yeah.
It's blue.
Is that just a guy thing? Is that a very basic? Are we?
I don't know.
Are we basic?
Mine was red coming up. Like
Yeah, I thought
growing up,
red was
like the Red Ranger when I was playing with my
Yeah.
cousins. I was like, I'm the Red Power.
But then the Green Ranger came.
It wasn't me.
What's your favorite color? So your favorite color is red.
No, I would probably say
Purple.
black, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd probably say black, which is not really. It's technically the absence of color.
So I'm looking here. I think the smart play is you bet Trump to win it, but you parlay with Kamala.
And tell me why that's the smart play.
It's the two favorites.
Smart place to stay away.
The smartest,
there you
the
go.
smartest
There you go.
play.
There we
You
go.
bet Kamala popular vote.
There we go. There we go.
And then you don't even ever have to go into work again. You never do, Whitey.
It's a good chance.
You never do. Whitey, speaking of being bad at their jobs, the Raiders are hiring one of the NFL's.
Whitey, how are you doing today?
The Raiders.
Wow.
The Raiders are hiring one of the NFL's most respected offensive minds, bringing in Norv Turner as an assistant to help guide their offense. Per me, that's from Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo and Tom Pelissero.
Former Raider coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
Turner.
The ex-Raiders coach back with the team as his son Scott takes a more prominent Nepo role.
Hello, Scott.
So,
What's up, sport?
Are we happy about that?
That's
I
not
wouldn't
really
be. Yeah.
registering one way or the other for me.
If I'm not mistaken, Norv is more of a run first guy too, isn't he? And the Raiders running back room has, I mean, I will say Alexander Madison's been better than what I would have thought he would have been after a really terrible year last year in Minnesota. But yeah, I mean, I guess the Norv offense is definitely a West Coast offense. It might be some shorter passes and maybe just more focused on getting completions than actually trying to, get explosives down the field. It might be better, but I mean, it can't be worse, really, right?
Wasn't he the Cowboys coordinator when they were winning Super Bowls?
He was, yes.
How hard was that to be the offensive coordinator when you got a great offensive line and Emmitt Smith,
right?
Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin? Yeah.
It's probably as tough as like Luke Walton coaching the Warriors in that playoff run. Probably.
Hey, it's easy to say that when you're on your couch eating chips.
That's right. Someone just told us that. Yeah, Tua. That's right.
That was Tua. Whitey, what'd you make of the game last night?
Woo. Which one, the football game or the basketball game?
No, the game of baskets.
That was a great game. It was so exciting.
Yeah,
comeback.
I mentioned to Chris, if we're now removing between this season and last season, just how there just weren't a lot of exciting notes to last season. This is probably most exciting game in the last couple seasons here, not counting Beam Team season. Off the top of my head,
everybody played last night. They had 15 games, which is why we had the weird start time. And that easily, I think, was the game of the night. I mean, no contest. That was a thriller.
Nothing else went down to the buzzer like that.
Yeah, Sixers was a good game,
one,
but it didn't go down to the wire like that. I think there was a lot of conversation about, okay, are the Kings going to kind of do what they typically do, and is this thing going to snowball? Then we found out that it got a little dicey in the locker room. I love that. I tell I said,
dicey
hey,
and spicy. Do we know who said what or anything?
We don't.
Yet?
We're trying to.
You guys made up anything good?
No, we actually haven't even tried.
Yeah, I think we the exercise is that obviously Keegan started
it. Okay, that's fun.
No, it probably honestly it was probably my guess is it was Sabonis who started it.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I think the fact that Sabonis brought it up probably says that he was pretty involved in it, but
he was really mad in the first half. Remember, we came out for something and he went over to talk to Mike, and Mike was kind of like clearly trying to placate him, and he finally just walked away like,
Yeah.
So
I think it was Sabonis who got it started.
Surprised me.
Just based on what we've known about this team. And look, it's better now than too late. Last season, YD, that if you remember that players only meeting, that was at the end of February, early March. So they had that players only meeting that was supposed to help them kind of get on
and that supposedly was a Trey Lyles thing, right?
Yes. That the whole thing was Trey Lyles had maybe went to De'Aaron and said, hey, can we have this conversation? And then Keegan, even though I was joking earlier, actually did have some things to say in it. So yeah, but at that point, you're hoping for a playoff stretch there for them to kind of just say, hey, halftime situation, we're just not letting this happen. They were down. Things had, like Chris had mentioned, things had gotten a little out of hand for them early on.
They looked so lifeless.
Yeah, it was 61-48 going into halftime, but it had just ballooned to that. It was pretty close the whole way prior to that, and then it started to move in that bad direction, and they said, not today. Not today, Miami, not today.
I wanted to give a ton of credit to this man because I got all the box scores out today, and I was looking for anything that jumps out. What about 3-point shooting? Didn't really find anything, but then I went on Twitter and I saw Chris had some interesting observations about how well they played in the third quarter. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, don't thank me. Thank the Kings. They've been just absolutely out of this world in the third quarter so far. And, Whitey, another thought from yesterday was definitely yesterday is the reason why DeMar DeRozan is here, right? I mean, on the floor, he hits that 4-point play, and it feels like nobody on the team last year would have been able to make a play like that. He also made the very heads-up play where he kind of gave up a three to give it to Sabonis, who was kind of sealing somebody under the basket.
Well,
gets
that
an
was a
easy
great
two.
pass, yeah.
That was incredible. I mean, that was one where I didn't see it happening at all. I was ready to yell at him and say, like, oh, what are you doing taking the shot? And he lays it up perfectly. But I mean, really, that, and if we don't know how involved he was in that halftime speech, but like, I think yesterday is like the poster child reason for why DeMar DeRozan was so attractive to this Kings team, right?
Yeah. And then it seemed like they're figuring out game by game, the whole fourth quarter thing. It doesn't seem like it's an issue.
No,
it just kind of happens. Credit to him and Fox that they're both able to recognize it and they don't have to talk. I'm sure they've talked about it, but it doesn't seem clunky at all. It's just like it just happens.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan got him there, but you know who took the last shot of the game besides Domantas Sabonis is De'Aaron Fox. Like that play was drawn up for De'Aaron and didn't seem like there was much of any ego from it. It was just, hey, this is what the play is, and don't give up on it. I mean, Sabonis did a great job of fighting for that rebound, and the fact that he got it is pretty insane. He's not the tallest guy. He's not the biggest leaper, but the fact that he still manages for game to come down with a rebound like that is insane, really.
Yeah, and I want to point this out to Alan because he's got a reputation as a guy who's not necessarily the best teammate. I don't know. He's told us that. But how about you've told us that?
I have.
Yeah. When Sabonis makes a shot, and DeMar DeRozan was happier than Sabonis.
He was. He ran over to him. I thought he was going to give him chest compressions for a second.
Yeah. Whereas, Mr. Stiles would be, I was open.
I wouldn't have missed.
Yeah, right. That's what you would have done.
I wouldn't have missed. I will say that. They won the game, but we talked about this yesterday, Chris, as I'm watching De'Aaron take the shot. I mean, you would like to see one of these shots from De'Aaron go in towards the end of games, though. You win the game, But we looked at his clutch numbers, and then there's clutch numbers, but that doesn't necessarily filter out just game-winning, game-tying buzzer beaters. And I'm glad the Kings won, but I would have rather De'Aaron just hit that shot.
Well,
just for the larger picture.
It's also back-to-back game winners that he's missed.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but for what it's worth.
You know, I don't know how much it's worth, and it's certainly accurate.
Yes,
so
right,
I appreciate you
right.
mentioning it. But that I'd much rather have a guy who takes those shots and doesn't make them than the guy that's like, I don't hot potato.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Well, I think
there's a lot of those guys.
Sure.
You know, I think that's funny too because
I didn't want to take the last shot.
Yeah, well, I did.
I didn't either.
I want to take every shot. They did draw up that play for Keegan, and unfortunately, the Timberwolves kind of sniffed it out that first game of the season, and we didn't see Keegan get a pure shot because that's something, Chris, that we've talked about, kind of similar to Sabonis, but in a different way. The later it gets in the game, Keegan scoring wise, you can't really count on the same way.
But there were two options on that play from what Mike Brown said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is cool. It's like, so it's not just because obviously sometimes you say, we're going to give it to so-and-so. The defense may have something to say about that.
Right.
So it's great that because he said, as you know, you were there. It's like, well, Malik came open too. So,
yeah. I just there's a longer list of guys that are willing to take the shot. So now that you have a De'Aaron Fox and you have a DeMar DeRozan, we know Malik is willing to take the shot as well. I think it just helps the Kings. We'll see what happens. I mean, they got to get their revenge tomorrow night against the Raptors. What's coming up on the show, Whitey?
Kyle and I will be taking your calls, and we're pretty much have clear deck there to take a lot of calls. We don't have any. We may get some guests at some point, but as of right now, we're talking about that huge win last night, and of course the NFL trade deadline, which is a big national story today.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all anyone's talking about.
Yeah. Well, the Niners,
this whole Khalil Davis thing, now it's driving
Get to the bottom
people
of that,
crazy.
Yeah, it's driving people crazy. Ultimately, not the move I think a lot of Niner fans were hoping the Niners would make, but that just means that the Niners feel like, hey, we're getting back Juwan Jennings. We're getting back Christian McCaffrey. We're getting back Feliciano. We're getting back
Drake
all these
Greenlaw
guys.
at some point.
Drake Greenlaw, Jake Moody.
Money Moody.
And we ain't giving up nothing. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Thank you to Nate, as always. Drive Guys coming up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson, and or Kyle Ledbetter. And until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray.